It's its own thing. It's its own special brand of Factorio. And with that, the numbers count down. North v South. The tournament's over, so we're back to normal captains games again. And off we go. And again, as I said, as we were building up to this, the opening ore patches are incredibly generous. So we should be looking at a very smooth transitional opening game into the mid game without much hassle. Everyone have a nice day as well. Oh. It's 30 seconds into the game and we have a murder. Caliphate Bop murdered Sticklord in cold blood. We all saw it, guys. We were all here for that. I wonder why. I guess we'll never find out. I guess justice will never find itself. Yeah, he came at me, bro. So yeah, it's an interesting map. Obviously, we have lots of oil very close to us. We have uranium ore very close to us. We have 13 on 12. Of course, there are more people that will be filtered into the game too. So we're on for a really good game today. I'm going to keep it kind of light in terms of conversation. During the kind of the tournament games, I was trying to like always move things towards the way that the game was developing to keep like the flow of the game up and stuff. As most of you know that tune in most of the weeks that aren't tournament games, a lot of the time the beginning of the game is quite slow, it's quite slow paced, it takes a while to build up. So I'm not going to kind of like bulldoze that with conversation about the game. There's no real point. As you all know, at the beginning of the game, we have nothing that is automated, so we need to build up our base first, with things that are hand-fed, things that are hand-mining, and then from there we're going to gain resources that will allow us to build our base up. For anybody that's new that is new to this game and hasn't watched this before, the main goal of this game, the main objective, is to keep the rocket silo here, this building that is in the middle of your base, safe, and keep it alive as long as you can. Now this kind of game mode sounds kind of easy because there are 13 people on north, 13 people on south. That's a lot of players to build a base and keep that base safe. But over time, the bugs on your side of the map, and as you can see, each side of the map is bisected by this large river, meaning that they can't cross, but you play the same map. Effectively, the map is flipped, so a stone patch here on the south occurs exactly in the same opposite direction on north. There's no inherent advantage about being north or south, you're just on a team that is north or south. The bugs eventually do come. At the moment they're very small and weak, but over time they will build up in strength and number, and they will rattle you. They're going to shatter your defenses. So we've just started now, and obviously the bugs are easy to kill. As you can see, gun turrets can make light work of these bugs. In not too distant future from now, about 35-40 minutes, those bugs are going to start evolving, getting bigger, getting stronger, and they'll become more problematic for either of our teams. So at the moment, it's easy street, the game mode is not particularly difficult, and we will just see a slow standard issue build up. As you can see now, by the water, we have some power blocks being built. The North's captain, by the way, is Open Drain. The South's captain is Muddle Box. I'm not going to put a prediction in for today's game, guys. The reason being, and we spoke about this prior to the game starting, I said this and I'm going to stick to this, and you can hold me to account by this in the YouTube comments. The way that I saw the North select their team, I believe now, as a commentator of this game, without being openly biased or overtly biased, sorry, I believe the North have everything, they have every tool available and necessary to win a game over the South. That isn't to say that the South don't have a chance, and that's not to say the South aren't skilled enough to win. I like the combination of picks that the North put together in terms of allowing certain parts of their game to really flesh themselves out early. They have some of the best players in their best position, and they have some of the best players that do some of the best meta builds currently that we have seen in Biter Battles through the tournament that we recently saw. So unless players do something like vastly different and they choose to have a different role this game, if everybody plays their part as they normally do, as we know them to have done before, I believe that we're on for a Northern win. I might be wrong. If I am, I'll wear a hat, take it off and eat it. But the South have got their work cut out for them because their counterparts, the people that are opposite them, are pretty much their set. And it's again, it's hard to quantify unless you play with these people often and you know the people in the server, but I do. I've played with these people, I played against them. Every single person in this map I've beaten and I've had on my team and beaten against, beaten other people with them. Yeah, I just really like the pairing of, for instance, Clutch and Pipes. I really like the combination of Ness and anybody else. Gaming Guy is a fantastic support player. Whittle 2 is a fantastic support player. Open Drain, the only downside to North, by the way, and here's the one detracting factor. Open Drain does not have a microphone. And on Discord, if you're in a voice channel and you need help or you need some advice from your captain, he's going to have to type that out to you. As opposed to, as we're talking right now, get on a microphone and be able to express an idea to somebody instantly. And that's the one bonus the South have. Muddlebox, the captain of the South, does have a microphone, will be talking to his team, and will be coordinating them in real time through voice. So the only detracting factor that the North don't have is a captain communicating with them in real time. However, the players themselves alone know what it takes to win anyway. So there's, yes, getting some orders or getting some advice or getting some direction is good, but with the players in this server that we have, there should be more than enough talent here on the North to see this game through. We should, hopefully, get ourselves to an end game, and I believe that the North should be able to get there quicker than the South. Again, all hypothetical. Again, the North might prove me wrong and shit the bed and get it all wrong, but yeah, this is one-way traffic as far as I'm concerned, and the North are driving a monster truck. So, yeah. But enough of that. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. It's rained every day in the... yeah, it's the North's game to lose for sure. As a casual observer, I must obviously be talking out of my arse, but I've played hundreds and hundreds of games with and around these people. I know, I was about to say that. Having rained all year in the UK, we finally have some sun, and it is very welcome. It's good for morale, mate. It is good for... It's still really wet and windy and dreary today, but we have sun, and it is good for morale. So I welcome it. We have our single day of sun. For the next 300 plus days of the year, it's just going to be cold and miserable. But we had 24 hours of actual sunshine, so I'll take it. We're like that one town in Alaska that had sun one day, and then the rest of the day it's just cloud and grey and miserable and dark. So yeah, I wonder when pick phase 2 is on. Do we have... Okay, next pick phase is in a couple of minutes time, and that's when these players will be swept up into the rest of the team. Oh, it is. It always is, mate. You know, I love the sunshine. I love the sun. I love barbecues, mate. We're not a barbecue type country, but when the sun is out, a bit of barbecue meat, bits of chicken, oh, nice bit of coleslaw, salad, potato salad. Oh, you can't go wrong. Honestly. It's just that the shame of it is in America, you can have that almost every day of the year. In England, you have a day of the year that you get to have a barbecue. Don't get me wrong, people will try it when it's still wet and rainy because it's, April, May, but, there's no point. Yeah, it is very spontaneous. Very spontaneous. It's like, I think we're going to have an hour's worth of sunshine, so let's just go for it. Get the coals on, get the barbecue on. And if it starts raining, then we'll just curse the gods and try again another day. Okay, let me just quickly double check in on Discord real quick, make sure there's no messages coming through. There's not been any gambling yet, Blitzy, mostly because I think that the gambling will be one way. I can do it, but unless somebody wants to risk their points for the South, let's do it. I'm gonna stick a prediction up. Now it will look like I'm saying the North have won. They haven't, but yeah, Blitzy, take a look at the teams and tell me who you think has the more stacked team. As I put up the prediction, So, start the prediction. Who wins? North, South. There we go. Prediction's been started. 30 minutes to go on that, guys. Feel free to chip in with your channel points. If you vote South, by the way, and everybody votes North, you could win if the South do win a fuck ton of points. However, I just don't see it happening. and we'll move into the build as it stands. You know, like North at the moment have an enormous power block they're looking to stick down. I like that. A couple of like smelting lines going down too. My dad lives in Greece. They can do things. They say like, we're having a barbecue next Tuesday. Oh my god. Hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I say. I welcome the challenge, Sisik. You know, and if anything, mate, if you win, I'll have to eat my hat. I don't wear one. I haven't got one on, but I'll find a hat. I'll put it on my head. I'll take it off and I'll eat it. Sisk. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you've told me this before, mate. Sorry. It's 3 hours of diggy hole followed by this. My brain is gonna. By the end of today, mate, if I can get a single word out, that'll be a win. Obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, we have started a new fresh run of diggy hole, a new scenario, and if anybody wants to join us in that, we'll be doing that after this stream. And everybody's welcome to join. Like you can join if you want or not. It's up to you. I'm not your boss. But so far so good. You know, we've dug some holes. I may have died a few times. It wasn't my fault. You know. Sticklord bullied me in primary school. What? I was farming. The only threat that really mattered on the map was me, and I farmed it. Marek says, voiceless Joe Captain. Sticklord bullied me in primary school. I go to therapy for it to this day. Damn, that is deep. So the main base builder, it looks like, is Clutch. Am I wrong in thinking Ness is in North? There's Ness. 10 points have gone to the North, guys. See, unfortunately, I think that 8k might be at risk. Obviously, gamble responsibly, and remember, this isn't actually this is channel points. The reason I say that, guys, it's for YouTube. If you say things like gamble and you don't qualify stuff, like there's a bot that will go through and say, oh, this person's promoting gambling. And like, obviously, this is channel points we're talking about on Twitch. As the video is up on YouTube, that won't be relevant. But for now, if you want to bet channel points, which is fake currency, it's not real, feel free to put your money where your mouth is. I think if I had 10,000, if I had an equal 8k points to bet against you, see, I would. It's slow, though, for the North. The South do have Caliphate. Caliphate's a little bit of a wild card. Depending on the role given to Caliphate, we could see maybe some counterplay. Maybe. But again, slow start from both sides. We're getting some smelting up. We're moving through the basic research. One of the few countries where points gambling counts as actual gambling and can't bet points. Interesting. Wait, so how have you bet channel points? Oh, you're not in Sweden now. Okay, got you. Or you're using a VPN, which is very smart. Yeah, obviously, gambling is dangerous. Don't gamble money that you can't afford to lose. Blah blah blah. You know the shtick. Don't bet. Betting's a mug's game anyway. Honestly, it's not worth it. I can bet 0 on North. I see. Oh yeah, because it's like a poll. Yeah, I get you. I mean, we'll have to see as we go. If the North's numbers drop, let's say for instance they get a couple of people that just need to leave and go and have dinner, the South could take a lead. You know, the players that I would worry about on the South, Sticklord is number 1. I would worry about Caliphate too. And you've got Cognitive and Outstanding together as well. So this could be a power couple that could lead the South into a win. And, you know, I hope I'm proven wrong, you know, I do. I just don't... I've seen enough of the game. Damn. Well, the first death... No, actually, it's not. The second death of the game, after the murder we witnessed in the opening 30 seconds of the game, has happened. What is the Pipes doing? Threat farming? Unless Zero Sun will be... Well, obviously, yeah, feeding biters, obviously. Yeah, it looks like Pipes is threat farming, I guess, for now. Kind of a waste of a resource. No. Impossible. Impossible. I am very humble. I mean, let's take some positives. Let's refocus our lens, and instead of talking about what will go wrong, let's talk about what's currently going right for both teams. The South have a coordinated set of players in their main base. They have a really sizable power block that's gone down too. There's a small satellite base just off to the right hand side, off to the east, and Menander is creating some plates and some basic raw materials off the back of that. And Califabop and Tiamarx are building up the beginning of their mall they're smelting to. I like what the South are doing in main base. Meanwhile, to the west, they have an outpost of 4 people, which is quite a large amount of people. They could have do with a few more inserts. I know, I wasn't gonna point it out, but yeah. Muddlebox is on top of that task though. Sticklord, the Cobra, Kojito, and Marek, all here on this outpost. I'm not entirely sure what this will do. I'm not sure what this will achieve, but we'll see as it goes, as the game flows. Where this will take us. And then a third outpost. Sorry, I guess that could be qualified as an outpost, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. King of Gugu, Outstanding, and Cognitive moved over to the west. And a spot here again, which is full of the right kind of materials you need in order to win a game. Mostly copper, a lot of iron. Yeah, this is really nice. This is a great little spot if you want to build rockets. Qcrat, off to the west on their own outpost. Zero Sum with another. Pipes and the Soldier look to be moving north to Threat Farm. And then a third outpost in Nesses. Are the North making the most of the players they have? Potentially, maybe? It's a slow start. It's a very slow start. Clutch account hacked. Why? The South are in the lead at least. When it comes to this main base area. Califa, no slouch, no slowing down here. It looks like the South are going to get their research up faster than the North. My question is there's a lot of standing still here. A lot of standing still. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing as well. Like, the question is, who else can build main? You know, who else is a main-based builder? The Soldier, this guy, 100% could build main if asked to. Again, we're looking at what the captain needs and wants from his team, and he might have said to the Soldier, you can head out. Ness as well, by the way, speedrunner, could easily build main up on their own very fast. So this is a choice that the captain has made. Open drain as a captain, I don't know the strength of that. You know, the thought process there, the strength of the player. So maybe, no, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong on the North. I'm in. I have North stop. I can't believe I'm only going to win 10 pot noodles. Give it time, mate. Give it time. This is a 30-minute prediction, probably now sitting around the 25-minute mark. More people will join us, and I'm sure they'll bet with their pot noodles. The South are looking slightly more developed, though. I'm worried that the North aren't flying at the speed I thought they would be. Although maybe because of the game mode that we're playing at, the difficulty that we're on, we could potentially be looking at a slower played game. Why are they building the power plant with the spare pipe containing water and not steam? I don't know, dude. I'll keep an eye out. I'm not entirely sure what you're looking at, Blitzy. You're just here to steal people's lunch money. It's fine, mate. I'm sure it'll work itself out. Or whatever the problem was at the time of typing, hopefully has been... Oh, like water down the middle and steam out here? Nah. It's fine, everybody. Blitzy's still learning how to play the game. Yeah, but the South are ahead. The South are ahead. And this, hopefully, will speed them up into that early game. You know, the North, meanwhile, needs some help. They need some helping hands out here, and they're not far away. They're not far away from getting there, but still, I'd worry a little bit about the progression here. We've been on the map for 20 minutes now, and the South are looking to... they're hitting the right timings at the right time. So, you know, they're about to set them all up. They're about to set up their early signs too. The North are kind of far away from that. Now, like, what are the North doing differently? Ness is out here. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is, but Ness is an incredibly fast player. Could be adding some value to the main base. Meanwhile, Pipes and Soldier have got their own outpost. Hey, Avascotty, welcome, mate. Welcome, welcome. We did some Diggy Hole earlier, mate. It was very, very good fun. And we'll be doing some later as well, by the way. Just to throw it out there. So you haven't missed much if you weren't able to make it straight away. Yeah, so we've got a couple of outposts here. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of any of these outposts are yet, you know. This, I think, will be something that supplements the main base. I saw some of the stream earlier, but had to run out to yell at people. Hey, fair enough, dude. Hopefully the people that we yelled at learnt their lesson. That's the key here. But it was, it's an interesting scenario, Diggy Hole. We're getting there. It's interesting because you have to kind of reinforce the ceiling. I had to go trim a hedge. Hey man, there's a lot of people out there that need a good yelling at. But yeah, welcome in, mate. Welcome in. Again, we're on a slower difficulty today on this game. Oh no, dude, that's completely justified. Yeah, no, you don't need anybody blocking up your driveway or even parking on it, mate. That's just rude. And with the greatest respect, get fucked. Like, don't do that. Yeah, horrendous. There's nowhere else to park. There is. I can name 1,000 other spots other than my driveway. Yeah, I had a friend that when I was at university, their driveway was constantly blocked, and it got to a point where they would like purposefully ask for people to bring their cars over so they could like block them in, and then in the morning they'd get their mate to reverse them out. It was almost like taking up that space so nobody else could. And you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not your problem. But then, you know, that's the frustration of morons, right? They make their problems yours. And I say morons, like, I don't mean to kind of hold the moral high ground here, but like, there is absolutely a solution to your problem, and I'm not part of that solution. Like, get fucked. Get it away from me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, stupid is a bit contagious at times. And I certainly have felt sometimes where you're dealing with somebody and you're trying to simplify and explain and simplify, and at some point it's not your fault they don't understand what you're talking about. You know, we're not talking about high level stuff here. Like, a lot of the time it's simple stuff. And I wonder, like how do these people tie their shoes in the morning, you know? It worries me sometimes. And again, I'm not talking from some kind of intellectual moral high ground here. I'm a moron. You've all seen that. We played Diggy Hole earlier on, and I died 4 times to a collapsed ceiling that I could have prevented. So I'm not a smart man. However, I think that there's a certain level of brevity that a lot of us have in being able to try and understand a problem or ask for help when we need one. I think morons kind of make their problems their problems yours sometimes, and that's unacceptable, man. It's not right. We've all got friends out there who have a friend who caused more issues. You know what I mean? Well, you say that, Abascotty, but you can put a rock through their window. By the way, anybody out there listening to this, I'm not advising that you do this. If you're a police officer listening to this, I'm not saying that anybody should put a rock through anybody's windshield. However, yeah, you have many options. Some of them are a little bit more violent than others. I'm certainly not advocating for it. However, yeah, there are a few things you can warn away from, you know. I had a friend of mine, where did he go to uni? He went to uni up like Newcastle or something, somewhere north, like north as well. And they used to just piss on people's car handles at night. You know, if somebody like blocks you off, like you just piss on the car handle and overnight it will freeze shut. don't pee on people's cars, PSA. But they did, and it was hilarious. Because the idea is, like, once you learn not to be there, then you just shouldn't. Like, there's a viral video going around at the moment of somebody who parked across, like, 3 spaces, and they had, like, a load of, like, you're an arsehole, don't park here stickers put on their window. And I'm down for that, man. I'm down for that. Have you seen the viral video of, I think it's in New York. It's in a major city in America, and there's this really nice car that's parked outside of a fire hydrant, and like the owner, and again, it's like some stupid, crazy nice car, like a Maserati or a Bugatti, not a Bugatti, sorry, like a Rolls Royce or something. And the fire department turn up and they just fuck the window off, literally smash the window and drag the hose through. And the idea is, you're not meant to park next to a fucking fire hydrant, because when you need it the most, you need it fast. And the owner of the car is like, oh my god, I'm gonna sue you guys. No, sorry mate. The rules are, you leave that alone so that people that need it use it and they can get access to it fast. So, you know, I'm sorry about your car getting smashed up, mate, but it's all your fault. Literally, it's all your fault for parking there. In Hull, it used to be a pub. Oh my god, yeah, mate. I've worked in bars in the city, and it, like, there's having a bit of a laugh, and then there's just being a complete bell end. And there's a fine line sometimes, you know, genuinely fine line sometimes. And you could always point them out at the beginning of a night. A group of people come in sober, and you start serving them, you think, that guy's going to be a bell end, that guy's going to be a bell end, that guy's going to be a bell end. You could almost always point out the ones that wanted to fight quite early on. But yeah, Spidey senses got tingling there, mate. Spidey senses tingling. Hull's great, mate, great place. Great place. But yeah, it's kind of like dickish behaviour, isn't it? Or prickish behaviour, whichever one you want to call it. But like, yeah, not a fan. Just radiating our conversation back to the south now, as a wave just casually walked past the build by Caliphate Bob. No bullets needed, just hammer them, bash. There we go, easy enough. They are moving at some speed. The South are managing to get their beginnings of the research up and running. This will obviously become red jug science, where we put iron wheels, copper plates into an assembly machine, pump that out onto the side of a belt, we'll get red science. Here we will have green science being built. The first 2 levels of our research. We'll need for that yellow inserters and yellow belts. If we feed that successfully into an assembly machine, it will combine the two and create green science. So yeah, the South are slightly ahead, although the North aren't far behind. You know, the North have managed to get their act in gear. Do you know what, Abascotti? That's a really good point. We don't really talk about the game modes the difficulties that much. And Blitzy following up with an equally good question. So we'll go through, firstly, Blitzy, to answer your question, because it's easier, although you did ask it second. Bombay Bad Boy. If you're going to have a cup-based noodle of any description, doesn't have to be pot noodle, I'm not sponsored by them yet, but I would argue the larger the flavour profile, the better the noodle. So my argument would be something like a curried type noodle or something with a bit of spice in gives you a bigger and better flavour profile. Going for standard issue ones is good, but they're quite safe. You know, going for like a chicken and mushroom, it's fine, but it's a very, very safe, very plain flavour combination to aim for. And you can get more if you want to out of your noodle, your cup-based noodle. Abascotti, going back to your question about difficulty. Each science level has a strength to it when thrown. Obviously, the weaker sciences do less manipulation, less evolution of the bugs, going all the way down the line to space science doing the most. And in a normal game, all of these values are 100% correct. So a red jug will do this much, mutagen. A space jug will do this much mutagen. When we play the easier game modes, for instance, like Have a Nice Day, each of those science jugs and the threat that they create and the mutagen that they create are dialed backwards. So, for instance, here, for instance, in this game mode here, Have a Nice Day, each jug of science is 35% of its original effectiveness. So what that means is, in a normal game, a white science jug will have an 100% effectiveness. In this game mode, 35% instead. So it means you're going to need more stuff Good morning, Ken RJD. Morning, morning. In this game mode, you're going to need more science that will do more damage, leading to a longer game, because we need to get to a point where we get to those later game sciences. It nullifies early game spam. Now, what that means as well is in the harder game modes, that the value of each jug goes up, because you're going to do more damage with a red jug or a green jug comparative to its weaker version of it when we play easier game modes. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Basically, hard game modes, you get more bang for your buck. Easier game modes, you need more science because it does less damage each time you throw. Now obviously we're still going to get up there, we're still going to have behemoths, we're still going to have an end game here. It just takes a little bit longer to get there, so the meta or the strategy isn't to spam and force the enemy out of position early. The idea here is in an easier game mode is to find a spot within the tech tree. For instance, you could say, purple maybe, maybe purple spam could work, or maybe yellow spam. But ideally, ultimately, the game-winning combination of science in this particular game mode, I believe, will come from sending rockets. It will come from white science. So as we go through the game and as the game mode progresses, I don't think we're going to see a heating up of the map. I think what we'll see is a speed run to an end game. And as we say that now, I can take a look at the research. And by the way, guys, if any of you have channel points that want to bet whether the North or the South will win, the prediction is still up. You still have some time to get those predictions in. So yeah. Okay, so the North are moving towards Assembly 2, Strong Explosives, Engines, Fluid Handling, and Oil Gathering. They already have their military science up and running as well. Oh, damn. Another wave of bugs. I don't know what it is, but like we've seen a couple of waves just kind of move to the south. And like, guys, I'm going to stay here for a second because I want to have a look at their threat farmer. But like this, you act on this immediately. Like act on this immediately. Like this shouldn't have been a problem for this long. This speaks volumes, and I mean this is screaming at me at the moment. Something like that happening. What I would say is there are enough players in main base to have made that there about a minute before that happened. They're not losing anything particularly big, and they're certainly not going to lose out on their base progressing, but it's a damning indictment to how people will react later on in the game. Now, you can't be that busy at this early on in the game that you can't focus on a wave hitting your base. So, very low stream delay today. Perfect for stream sniping. Never mind. Hey, do you know what? The South might need it, mate. They might need some help. The fact that it took them over a minute to go and help and solve that problem. Now, again, there's one guy threat farming. He can't do everything on his own. With 14 players, I think 2 is the limit, though, for threat farmers at the moment. Like having 2 people go out and do that job, it's worthwhile for sure. Ness is building power. Really? A man of your talents? Just powering up? Okay, fair enough. Qcrat out here, potentially making a laser outpost. I'm not too sure, actually. It's been a while since I've seen Qcrat play, but we've got Zero Sun probably making a defensive outpost too. And obviously our actual defensive outpost up to the north is the Soldier and Pipes. I don't hate it. The large outpost on the south is kind of dangerous here though. And this is what a lot of you will have heard me speak about this during the tournament. I want to kind of ratify this because I didn't really go through it in great detail because so much was going on that it was hard to kind of fixate on one particular point. What we're seeing here now, and apologies if I'm speaking in artistic terms, in terms of art, but this is what we used. This is post meta. This is post-modernist meta. This was 1 or 2 iterations of the meta before. The current meta is now. So if what we currently do now, what won the tournament, is the cutting edge of Biter Battles building, fighting and playing, this is 1 iteration before that. This is the old school way of playing. You have a main base, it does some stuff. It doesn't do everything, however. A secondary supplementary base will help build that out. And so we're seeing an older version of this. And I can imagine that down the line, this base also supplements the main base too with other things other than just level 1 and level 2 research. We'll keep tabs on this. But this is a really interesting old school way of playing. And this used to be how you'd win games. You effectively have main base, slowly get into gear, while something else revs up. And this would be that something else. Although, that said, like we talked about this at the beginning of the game, there's so much stuff here in the main base, you don't need to do this. Like, I don't know what the plan is here, but like there's enough raw resource. You're not going to run out of this anytime soon to fund and fuel the main base. So, and they haven't even red belted. Seasks is right. No red belts. GG's easies. Now, comparative though, the real weapon on the south side, the real gun on the hip, loaded and ready to go, is this base. Is this base here. Cognitive and Outstanding are more than capable enough to build an endgame base, and King obviously of Gugu, to build an endgame base that will win the South the game. If they can hit their timings, if they can hit their building correctly, whether they go bots or not is really important. Remember, there are only 3 people here, and with a game mode like this, going bots is really dangerous because it could put you out of your research timings, and it could put you out of winning the game, that kind of window you have of opportunity of winning the game later, but it also might give you a win. And bots are not meta at the moment for good reason. And I'll talk about those good reasons later when we do see them, because we'll see a divergence of the 2 different thought processes from the north comparative to the south. But bots used to be really, really kind of like prevalent in the meta, and then people just got really, really fucking quick. And even now, without the likes of Jimmy50 and Carl, for instance, we're still going to be going incredibly quick. So, like, do not think that bots still need to be a thing. I know that we're down in terms of player numbers. Normally we'd be around about 20 versus 20. We're about 15 versus 15, give or take. I still think it's a real danger to go into the bot research, mostly because it takes you away from the main line. What does that mean? Well, I'll explain now. As you go through this tech tree, there is a perfect line, almost like Formula 1. There is a perfect way of getting through this and navigating this tech tree with just exactly the right research you need, cutting the fat out of the edges, and getting into the point at which you envision your team to win the game. So yeah, it is the tech tree racing line. Second, my dogs are barking, give me a sec. There we go. Okay, they're fine. They're fine. They're just barking at the door. So yeah, so you have the opportunity to kind of dive into the tech tree and get yourself through that as fast as possible. Bots are a divergence of the main line. 20. You could win 20 pot noodles, mate. 20 is a lot. Yeah. So going bots is a divergence from that main line, and ultimately, if you're willing to take your team's focus and timings away from that main line, you need to benefit in a large way for that. So yeah, the prize pool for yourself has doubled, Cesc. But that being said, yeah, of course. I might throw some in near the end, mate. If you do end up winning, mate, I might throw you a few thousand extra. the pity bet. North odds are too good. Yeah, they are. They are. It's an interesting one, but I do believe that look at the state of this. That's big. That's gone up really fast. Like, I don't think you need 2 people doing this, but it's nice enough to have this. You know, this should be enough power to get you to that mid-end game, at least. With obviously uranium being super close too. But yeah, so bots used to be part of the meta. To round out my thoughts, sorry, on that. Bots used to be part of the meta. They are no longer so. They can be used, they can be researched, they can be made and made use of, but I just don't think that they have a relevant place in the speed at which we play the game now. Again, if the game somehow is slow, or somehow decides to slow down, we could be looking at something completely different. However, I just think that we are, yeah. I mean, you can bet more than 10, guys. You can bet more than that. I spoke about this earlier on. 10 for 4K is too good of odds. It's a fair point. The North have, in my mind, how do I put this? If I was to break it down, the South have every opportunity to win the game. They're not without the opportunity to win. They're not without the chance of winning. And if they play this correctly and play this fast and accurately, and accuracy has to play its part in this, then the South have a chance. But, and it's a big but, the North, on paper, have an incredibly strong team. They aren't coordinating that strength correctly, however. So, I don't know why Pipes is threat farming. There's nothing wrong with this. Pipes can threat farm. But he's also one of the best outposters out there. And the Soldier can threat farm, but he's going to time out down the line. Like, his computer normally doesn't go that deep. So I would have asked the Soldier to build up main base, because I know that in an hour's time his computer will crash. So I'd rather him spending an hour doing this, build up main, than building a threat farming base. That's just me. Whatever Open Drain wanted to happen is happening now. So obviously we have captains. Captains make their picks, they make their plays, and off the back of that we see those kind of ideas play out. Ness too, I don't know if Ness is being utilized properly here. So maybe we're misallocating the resources that we have. We're not placing the right wires and wiring them up correctly. But now that's the kind of competitiveness I like to see, Seas. Can somebody join North and just quickly unplug power for a few minutes? Yeah. I don't think your points are that under threat yet. But there's going to come a point in the game, I think. There's going to come a point in the game where there's going to be a clear change of pace between the two teams. And, like, are we sending that science? We're not, are we? So we're absolutely going old school, aren't we? Yeah, I don't mind this. This is really old school. I actually kind of like it. We're compartmentalizing our base. So rather than main burdening all of the weight of research, of tech, of size and building and scale, we have two outposts here that are taking care of the early to mid game. And again, we just saw, I think, somebody out here from this outpost come and drop off a load of military science. And does that mean another base is going to be doing blue? Surely not. But my wonder is, like, so what? So that's what this base is doing now. They're going to be doing red-green and potentially going up to blue and maybe even making purple. I mean, this could just be a base that exists to get the red-green research off the ground and then transition itself into a purple builder. And there's nothing wrong with that. No worries, Chiefs. I don't think you're going to miss anything in the not too distant future anytime soon. I think in the next 20 to 25 minutes, we're going to see ideas appear and form, and then the resultant of those ideas will kind of be the end game. So, yeah, maybe here, potentially, we're going to see this develop into a purple builder. I don't think it's the best use of that outpost for sure. But this outpost might be the rocket builder that we know and love. Meow Fables out here on another outpost. That's a fourth one here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, a fifth outpost for the North. 5 outposts between 14 players is kind of ambitious. I don't know if we're spreading our resources accurately or correctly enough. Ness, meanwhile, is heading out to a coal patch. I'm not sure what Ness's job is. Like, I know what they're doing, but I don't know what the wider implication of them doing that is. And the Soldier just carries on, We're going to be seeing some capsule production down the line. And the South's threat farmer doesn't exist. That's interesting. So they stopped threat farming entirely. It's all interesting. I know I'm yawning. Apologies. It's been a long day, and it will continue to be longer. So let me just have some coffee, and we'll work through the ideas that are kind of formulating in my head as to where the game is going and where it might end up, because we have two very, very different ideas here. This main base is taking care of everything regarding research, regarding expansion, the mall, everything. These smelting stacks based off of these ore patches in the main base, funneling themselves into this set of production and more, as we can see down here, that's being lined up for the future. And they are going to fund these labs, which will form the North's research we can see here. Which is very traditional, it's very modern in the way that we play the game at the moment. The meta dictates that this type of play, maybe not in this way, in this size, but this type of play is enough to say that these are meta players. The South are playing an old meta, very old meta, with some blending of new. So this red chip addition to our green chip production, like this block here, this production block is kind of new school. This is what you'd argue is current real tournament based meta for us, followed on by your blue science, which will feed into labs of course, and you have a satellite base producing military science, which is new. It's new in the fact that we haven't seen it for a while, but it's not new to us. This is old meta, so an individual base outside of main, again this doesn't happen on the north but it's happening on the south. An individual base outside of main is making use of this mix patch. They're smelting stuff down, they're turning that stuff into tier 3 signs, and instead of throwing that science is being brought over to the labs, hand fed into this box, and that box is then being fed into the line into labs. Meanwhile on the south as well is a secondary base, here, that looked after level 1 and level 2 signs. They're also looking to go to level 3. Is this a troll? Do you need this? Why? Why are we going here? Like, do you not have enough military signs? Sorry, 1 second. Let me just double check on my research real quick. I might have my numbers wrong. They're going to defenders. Interesting. That's a divergence. We talked earlier on about bots and about whichever team went bots might be setting themselves back. Yeah. Now, looking at the research queued up for the South, they're not going to hit endgame anytime soon. The reason being is that this research, this, and this, all take a substantial amount of time. Now, they do have the labs, they do have the research, and they can do that research in the time necessary in order to get it done. Sorry, I'm just talking bollocks at the moment, aren't I? Of course they can do it in time. However, it's divergent from the main line. As they get that up, the North should be able to get their blue science up as well. I'm not entirely sure where their military science is coming from. I'm sure maybe somebody's going to hand feed it, potentially. Create like a little setup down here maybe, or maybe somebody's hand building it somewhere else. But yeah, I'm slightly perturbed by the idea that the South are going through a deep amount of research when it comes to shooting tech. Now this is great, by the way. You need this stuff if you have defenders. You don't want to keep them as basic as they are. However, building defenders, using them, and then having them for the end game, I mean, it's so old school. It's so old school. And old school is slow, by the way. The old meta is the old meta specifically because it was substantially slower than the newer meta. And there's a point in my YouTube channel, which I'll try and find actually. I'll try and mark it as like the turning point where somebody, I commentated a captain's game where one team built old school and one team went new, and the new school like blitzed them off the park. The new meta, the way that the game is played in the new way that it is played, was vastly faster. Not just because we had speedrunners playing the game, it was just noticeably quicker. And so people adopted and they adapted and they changed the way they build into this newer version of beta battles that we see nowadays. Obviously the fastest version of that is that grand final that I cast last week, where we had the two best captains and the best players in our server play against each other in a grand final. That was absolutely the pinnacle of what our meta is at the moment. The meta changes obviously over time, but like defenders are a real divergence away from, you know, what you could argue is currently the best way of playing. There's nothing wrong with playing like that in an old school way, but when you play in an old school way, you slow yourself down considerably. You know, it's like slamming the handbrake on. You've done really, really well here on the South to get to a position where you have all the research available necessary. You're starting to pump out blue, which again is a really good sign. You're really like far ahead in that sense. Now building out defenders as well. And again, where are they going to get built? Here? Maybe? Like, where are those defenders even going to go? Oh, here, I guess. I think it's a waste of time. again, you don't have the numbers for defense, which is fine. It's kind of for me, it's a kind of play you make if you know you're going to be under pressure early. So you make this play happen earlier, you know, so that you have a couple hundred defenders ready to go so you can kite bugs and stuff. It will help you threat farm, definitely, but it's kind of like a bit of a crutch. A threat farmer shouldn't need defenders to get yourself to like minus 10k, minus 20k. If you need any examples on that, I point you back to my YouTube channel again. I've managed to get like my team into the minus 100,000 just using a gun. A gun and grenades will do you. It takes a certain level though to get there. However, yeah. Let me just double check. Discord, no messages, that's good. So yeah, the north and the south have got some divergent tech. They've gone defenders, they've gone for their shooting upgrades. It'll help them to a point, but I'm not. The thing about threat farming is you're far away from everybody else, so nobody can see what you're doing. But if you tell them constantly that you're doing an incredible job and you just pat yourself on the back non-stop. Oh no, Pipes goes down. Pipes is not a threat farmer. Like, maybe he's doing it to try it out. Maybe he's testing the water a little bit here, but the bugs are 6% strong. I can't speak because in my mega build and in Diggy Diggy Hole earlier on, I died a lot. But like when the bugs are 6% strength, you can walk around them with light armor and you don't die. Yeah. And again, like the threat farming isn't really like, they're at the same amount, but the south aren't threat farming at all. So like, what are we doing here on the north? You're committing 3 people at least to threat farm and you're not managing to do a job here. This needs to be at 50 minutes in, like an hour into a game, almost, you need to be looking at like minus 7k, 8k easy. And I'm not just making that up. You know, there's 2 of you up here. Maybe one of you builds the base and the other one threat farms, but like minus 1k is really poor. It's really, really poor. Like, all you have to do is run in. Okay, that's a complete waste of inserters. What is going on? Are we trolling? Is everyone drunk? Am I drunk? Am I asleep? Is this a nightmare? What are we doing? Everyone's drunk. Do you guys smell that glue? The glue that's in the air at the moment. Yeah, I think somebody's using some really high strength glue right now amongst the place where these people live. So uncharacteristically, oh my god, what are we doing? Are we just trolling? I need to wait. Let's see. Let's just not take things in isolation. Let's put a follow on and let's see what happens next. So he's either lagging, but his movement isn't that of somebody who is lagging at the moment anyway. So they're aiming to push buildings back. We're not grouping up bugs. We're not kiting properly at all. We're kiting with our weapon out. And we're just holding down spacebar to kill some buildings off. I am baffled, lads. I am purely baffled. Pipes, if you watch this back, mate, I need to know what was going on through your head. Did you like lose like functionality at any point? Like, did your mouse die and you're just doing this through? He's not turning, and now he's turning. There we go. He just looks up and fires his gun. Is he having a stroke? No. Fuck off. He's got heavy armor and 150 fish. I don't even think effing chat is enough. Guys, I think Pipes is drunk. Allegedly, obviously allegedly. And drink responsibly for all those on YouTube. What's he doing? That's horrendous. Like, guys, on a rollerball mouse, I can do that. That's horrific. Do you think they might have heard me say that the North have won this, and they were all like, nah, I don't want Ghosty's prediction to come correct, so I'll just fucking troll. We all know that almost everybody watching the stream is stream sniping anyway, so... You can absolutely do that. And you know, I might be joining you later tonight, by the way. For anybody of us, or any of you joining us for Diggy Diggy Hole later, I might just, you know, crack a beer, why not? You know? You're allowed to, I think. I haven't checked the Twitch terms and conditions yet, but I think as long as I don't say what I'm doing, I think I'm allowed to have a beer. I've seen, don't get me wrong, like, I just don't want to, the thing I don't want is flags, you know, like red flags on your account, because then things just become a lot harder to do. But I believe you're allowed to have a beer and stream, like, as long as you don't take it to an extreme, as long as you're not completely wasted, and you know what I mean, like. And do you know what? Considering how the North are threat farming, the South are managing to push a little bit here with these defenders. Let's look at the difference. So, oh wait, is that his name? How do I say his name? The One Cobra. So, pipes. You won't necessarily have these flying around you because your team haven't researched them. But you see this car, and if you've noticed it hasn't crashed yet, this is kind of how you do it. Although, if I'm being honest, that's terrible pathing from the... I need to stop zooming in on people, guys. I think they just die when I do. I feel like I am the car crash. Oh, he has a second car. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Perfect. It's just wild to me, like, and you can tell by the way that these people don't use defenders often. Like, there are ways of using defenders where you can slingshot them around and have them move into predictive areas. So, you know, like what they're doing at the moment is rubber banding around you, but by putting in kind of converse movements, you can absolutely change the way these things move, and you can change their flight pattern too. So, like, yeah, there's ways of manipulating. All right, the South are threat farming better than the North. So let's just take this into consideration. The South have gone for defenders. They're building up their blue. In production stat terms, the North are only about 4 minutes off the South, but they've built less blue, typically. They were a mile away. They were almost 20 minutes away for their mill sign. So the North are struggling? It's like when somebody's watching you work. They shouldn't know I'm watching unless they're stream sniping, is all I'm saying. This is purely going to be LDS, which is great. Are we seriously just spamming? I don't hate this though. I really don't hate this at all. I mean, I'd improve our production by a mile, but you know, throwing something just to change the values a little bit will work. If anything, all you're going to do... So, throwing signs at the moment at the South won't kill the South off at all. But forcing the bugs to evolve to mediums means that your backlog of defenders will slowly go down. The defenders will take longer to kill the bugs, and in turn you'll use more of them, meaning that you'll slowly but surely run out of them. So I like the idea of this. This can work. But again, the weapon that the South have is this. And if they're only going to go for lasers, and I believe this is just going to be a laser outpost, you're wasting your time here. Like, surely this goes for a rocket. Surely. The space, the resources you have around you, like, you must go for a rocket here. Obviously, I sound really negative here, guys. I'm not. I'm just very disappointed in what I'm seeing. Not very disappointed, actually. There's moves that could be made that aren't. And again, we are playing with less players than normal, so maybe we're just hamstrung by the fact that we are missing a few bodies that would normally be used to solve some of the problems we're seeing. The North are queuing up blue chips. The South should be quite far away from that. Okay. The South are queuing up their laser towers. They want to go into advanced material prod. They're going for lube, electrical engines, blah, blah, blah. The North just finished blue chips. They're going for Mill 3, and they're going for LDS. The ghost of Murray Walker. Damn. So Ness is just spamming power blocks. I mean, I like it. I do like it. Like, I don't know how much power the North are using, but there's no way. Yeah, there is. I think there's like a natural fall off after the tournaments happen, which is fine. I don't mind it. Like, honestly, I like casting some of the smaller games. I just think the game mode that we have on, like the difficulty that we're in, it's kind of a bit slow for the numbers that we have. You know, it's not the end of the world. We'll get to an end game for sure. And as you can see now, we're storming towards, you know, that middle to end game. But I'm just worried that this could stall itself out. A small misplay or a micro input that changes the build or messes with belts could just see us kind of land in an area that we don't necessarily need to be in terms of slowing us down. But that being said, it looks like we're doing enough stuff. Like, what are we doing here, by the way? Why is this thing? We're just bringing in sushi plates? Okay. That's a first for me, guys. We see this every week. Well, we see new stuff every week. This is a first. We're sushi plating stuff on top of military signs down a belt into main. Do we need the sushi plates? How many hundreds are we looking at here? Yeah, a couple thousands. I mean, I don't mind this. I don't see the point. You can fill up your inventory and bring it over. Like, belting it kind of seems a bit wasteful. I'm trying to think of where we go late game here. On the North. Like, I'm trying to figure out where we're going. Like, yes, LDS will be built here. Rocket fuel where? Okay, massive green chip production here, which is great. Zero Sun's got that in the bag. So potentially that green is going to turn itself into red, turn itself into blue maybe? If we're sending a rocket, we definitely need to make sure that we've got like rocket fuel as well. So we'll need to see that being built somewhere by someone. Oil is being... Oh, it's being done. Yeah, people are smashing this. It's looking good. I just, yeah. Maybe because it's Saturday and we're chilling, you know. I need to remember as well, like, my expectation, we've cast like one of the most competitive tournaments we've hosted in a long time. So my expectation of the gameplay is probably a lot higher than it probably needs to be. Which is a me thing, obviously. It's not a how these guys are playing thing. I like the fact that they've got two people on this though, the South. This is just pure chaos. Like, I don't know what Pipes is doing. I have no idea what Open Drain's plan is here. They're killing off 5 bugs at a time. Yeah, they're certainly working on it. I think maybe the plan was to just slowly get to defenders, and then from there, you know, like, we'll be fine. You know, absorb that early game, like, you know, a couple of like packs that jump into us, and so yeah, they'll get to like minus 40, 50k. It looks decent, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's something quite nice about watching the destruction it leaves behind. Yeah, correct. They can cease. So the North and the South know the level that they're at. What they don't have is vision of each other, though. So they don't have an accurate picture of what's happening, other than being able to scout each other. So you can send fish to scout for vision, but at the moment they can't really see each other. So they have an idea of what's going on, and you can make predictions off the back of that. So if I'm on the South and I look at the North, I know they're not going hard with threat farming. I just know that. There's probably 2 people at most, maybe 1, and they're probably using grenades. You know, that to me is an accurate reflection of where they're at. Now, it also speaks volumes in my mind as well to how poor it's going on the north, sorry, because even with grenades, -3, -4k is not much. No, you're right. Yeah, you're not wrong. The question is, where does that science come from, and where would it be put? Like, where would it be better used? In this game mode specifically, I think that you need to get to like purple and beyond to really rock the boat. You know, to really cause a stir and give a problem to a side that won't be able to solve it. And again, I think that because of the game mode that we are playing, potentially purple might be the one. However, I think it's probably going to be like yellow to space science. I think that's where my head's at with it. I'm just going to quickly grab my... I'm just going to grab a drink from next door, guys. Give me a second. BRB. Is it beer or cider time yet? Soon. Soon. Oh, I can turn chat off, by the way, mate. Sorry, I did this during the tournament. Let me do that real quick. Because it does help. I think the only reason I put chat up is so that I can do that. And let me move my little dude. Move my little dude to the corner. Boom. Yeah, my worry is if I get on it early, I have some commitments later in terms of cooking my missus dinner. And if I'm completely shit-faced, I don't think she's going to be very happy. I'll be having a great time. But I did say it's my responsibility to get dinner ready for her. To be fair, she gets back about midnight from work, by the way, not from like a night out. So my plan is, even if I'm not awake, is that there is a good amount of food ready to go, and you know, some dessert as well. Some of it is, some of it isn't. So what I do with her, and this is a great tip, by the way, guys, for any of you that have a spouse that works a different time frame to you, and that you're responsible for getting dinner ready, or dinner just made for everyone, is I have we have an air fryer at home, a very small air fryer. So I have something she can chuck into the oven, and then on a tray in the fridge, I like basically a tray of like seasoned vegetables and meat. And effectively the idea is that you put the potato dish I've made like a potato gratin, which is basically like a shaved potato dish with like onions and cream and all that jazz. You chuck that into the oven, and then you turn the oven on for like 20 minutes. And then like with 20 to 25 minutes to go, obviously you need to kind of mess around with how much you want to eat. And, you know, if you want to put the whole thing in, it's going to take longer. But you get this tray into the air fryer, and you just turn the air fryer on, and it will basically cook everything all at once so that you have a full meal ready to go. So one bit of it is cooked, one is raw, and then you just combine the two once the air fryer is done. It's so far come across with some great results. So, you know, like I've done it a few times. I made, what I did last week? I did stuffed peppers. So like stuffed peppers with like cheese and rice and a couple of different bits and pieces. And then I had some mushroom steaks. And effectively the idea was you kind of like bake the peppers. So you took the peppers into the oven for X amount of, I think it was like 20 odd minutes. And then you air fry some like mushroom steaks. So some big fuck off mushrooms, season them, chop them up, and then you just air fry them. And that was like a real veggie kind of meal that she wanted to do. And it tasted good, you know. So that's my little top tip. Break it up into component parts, and that way it's easier to deal with. Yeah. Hello, little cat. 1 second, guys. I just need to go and give my cat some water because I've just been he's death staring me at the moment. He's looking at me like, how dare you not fill me up full of water? So yeah, give me a sec and I'll get back to you on the dinner thing. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, dinner. You can solve the death staring cats by never filling up. Oh my god. Are you on my? If you're not on the Discord, mate, hang on. Let me send you a link to this. You'll find this funny, mate. Copy. This is our Discord for anything not Biter Battles related, by the way. So if you click on that link, that's for other Factorio runs. I'm going to be hosting lots of other runs at the moment. If you scroll up in general chat, you'll see a video of my cat earlier on. So all day, I've been downstairs just doing housework. It came to starting up my run, starting up the scenario we were going to do today. I gave him a little poke to say, hey mate, you need to move. And then he just looked at me like, go away. Yeah, basically it was like, cat, mine, my chair. Luckily, I managed to rehouse him onto the windowsill where it was lovely and sunny, and I had the radiator on as well. So he's not having a bad time, but he kind of looked at me like, you know, how dare you? How very dare you? Now, arguably, he is a very old cat. He's been around for a long time. I touch wood, you know, that he's around for a lot longer, but most cats' lifespans don't last much longer than this before it's really unhealthy for them. And I don't want him to live in pain. But, you know, like, quality of life matters to me. And I want him to, in his older years, you know, he'd had enough time living in London, mate, where we lived in a flat and it was pretty crap for him. So now we're out in the middle of nowhere. He can run around the garden. He's got a woods to run around if he wants to. Yeah, I think the end of his life will be how a cat ideally would want to live. So I feel bad moving him off the chair. But at the same time too, I have one chair to sit on, guys, and it's for me. It's a human-shaped chair. If I need to, I can find him a cat chair too, but this is what I call my cat a brat. So, and you know what, the big thing is, and I know I'm talking a little bit long-term and a bit morbidly here, but I asked myself the question the other day, would I get another one? You know? Once he passes, you know, in like 2 or 3 years' time, would I get another cat? I think I will. I don't think I'm going to rush into it, but I think I will. I really enjoy... I'm a big animal person anyway. I've got 2 dogs, which you'll hear barking every now and again. One old, one young. But I've always had a cat, you know? I've always had just one. And maybe, you know, when my current elderly gentleman passes away and moves on to cat heaven, I might see if I can get like a pair of cats, maybe, you know, like a brother or a pair of sisters or something. Do you know what I mean? So that they have friends. At the moment, my cat tolerates my dogs, but it's because my dogs are terrified of him. So they're not there to kind of get in his way. A cat can maybe. Yeah, I might do it. He sleeps like next to where I have my computer. I have like an old radiator. Well, I say old radiator. It's like a big radiator, big metal radiator. And, oh, lots of spam. He loves just curling up right next to that. And I think he puts his feet, like he warms his feet up next to it, if that makes any sense. Mate, cats are so good at training. When I first got my puppy, even though my puppy had never seen him before, he just, when they first met, and it was a very slow meeting, it wasn't like straight away, it was like a nice slow introduction. My cat kind of looked at him and it was a bit like, I'm in charge, yeah. You know, whatever you want to do, mate, whatever you care about, it's I'm in charge. That was the kind of vibe I got from him. It was, look, mate, I've been here long enough, all right? We had 2 cats for a long while. Then we had a few months without after the last one passed. Yeah, I think they're mates. I think they're friends. I do. But what there is like my oldest dog is 3. My youngest dog has just turned 1. So he's not really a puppy anymore, but he still acts like a puppy, if that makes sense. And my cat is 14. And I think that if they were closer in ages, so if my cat was younger and the dogs were slightly older, I think they would match each other's energy. But it's purely just because, you know, I had a cat when I was pretty much when I came out of uni to now, he's just a little bit more like, he likes his sleep, he likes his peace and quiet. He doesn't want some big smelly animal getting in his way and ruining his day. He likes what he likes. Although I tell you what, mate, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I moved from London to where I am now. More than a year ago now, about 18 months ago I moved house. Maybe a bit more than that actually, it's been a while. About a year and a half ago I moved here to where I am at the moment, and it's more countryside where I am now compared to where I lived in London. London was like full urban, I lived in a tower block, it was shit. And my elderly cat, the moment he saw, we have a little forest at the back of our garden, so basically there's like a woodland that you can run around in. The moment he saw that, like the wild animal bit, I just saw his eyes just like open up a bit, and it was like, oh, I can hunt mice here, you know? I can chase after vermin, and like he's in there almost every day. Even when it rains, I like open up the back door in the morning to have a coffee, and he just runs away. He's just out for an hour or two, and he loves it. I don't think he's out there catching anything, but he's just out there hunting and being out in the wilderness, and I think it just works for him, so. Highly humble, mate, highly humble. So yeah, I think long and short of it is, I think I will get another cat once mine does, you know, pass. I'll be sad, obviously, but he's had a great, I think he's had a great life, and you know, I can't make him any more comfortable than he currently is. Like, I can't buy any more toys, I can't have a better place for him to sleep. He has everything he could possibly want. So yeah, I'm happy for him, and I'm glad that he's managed to live the life that he has. My dogs, on the other hand, are nutters. Apart from the chair, yeah, the chair incident today will go down in long-lived memory. But yeah, he's a good cat. He's a good cat, and you know what? He's not like a lap cat, but he's a very affectionate guy. So yeah, he'll like nudge up to me when he's cold, especially when he's cold. He'll just kind of like find a place to kind of lie on you and just be there. And he's like, "Look, don't move. I'm here forever now." Oh, anyway, sorry, back to this. So let's have a bit of coffee and then we'll get back to the map. This is what I'm interested in. I worry about what's happening over here. It's almost certainly going to be just laser spam, I think. Oh, we have bots, guys. We talked about this earlier on. Yeah, a bit more coffee and we'll talk about this. So we spoke earlier on about bots being divergent from the main line, the main line that we take when we research into the game. Bots and defenders have set the South back in terms of research time quite severely. It's not game winning or losing, but it definitely moves you in a different direction to the opposition. And as we can see here now, because the North didn't go down that particular route, they haven't gone down bots, they haven't gone down defenders, they have their research for their yellow signs early, and they already have some energy weapon damage and shooting speed on their laser turrets too. So not only do they have the 5th tier of signs locked in, and as we can see here now, this large build just off to the west is yellow signs. It's not running yet, but it's closing in on being run. The North are ahead in terms of this level of research. Now the South have more tools available to them, as you can see here. These bots are carrying red belts. Oh no. It's hard for me to make my PNG look disappointed. But if you can imagine a disappointed man sat in a bin, I was going to go along the lines of the South have tools available to them that the North do not. And that's evidently true. They have red belts. Defenders as well. And they have bots. Bots aren't terrible though. 6 p.m, caffeine doesn't affect my sleep. Do you know what, mate? I have a cut-off. About 8 p.m. for me. 8 p.m. for me is my cut-off for coffee. If I'm having a coffee after 8, it means I'm staying up. You know, it means I'm working till like midnight, you know, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. It doesn't happen often, but does happen every now and again. Some of these satellite bases, I wanted to see what they did. Are we just yellow spamming? Surely not. Yellow spam? Wait, whoa, okay. Yellow spam on Have a Nice Day? I should have it just eyes, just staring out. Okay, there's no way. There is a way. Do you know what? That's actually a really good redeem. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think about that. Leave it with me. I haven't drawn up more, but I could draw up more PNGs. You know what I mean? For like points rewards and stuff. Okay, right. So we're just trying to. I just want to figure out how much science do we need to get the South to 90%. Put me in the trash ghosty. It's 3,000. Well, it's just shy of 3,000. So to put the South into a behemoth setup, we're going to need 3,000 yellow. Let's take that one step back. 1,000 gets them to bigs, right? 71%. 1,000. Ooh. They need 3k to go to behemoths. I think 5k is correct, Abba. Let me double check that. 5k to get them to positive threat is correct, yeah. Probably actually maybe a little bit less, but yeah, about 5k is about there and thereabouts. I think 5k yellow it's not a terrible idea, but like, is it a game-winning play? Obviously, the South haven't built defenses, and they have threat farmed well, yes, but the moment these bugs become strong, threat farm ends. You know, you could be, and it speaks to volumes as to like, yeah, they're threat farming well now, but to beat behemoths, or to bounce a behemoth send against you off, you need to have more than minus 60k. Because once the behemoths arrive, they won't stop coming. You know, they literally will consistently, continually hammer you. It'll take a while as well, just to say it now, like for the North to build 2, 3, 4, 5,000 yellow, it's a long time, right? It's a lot of resources. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth going for that. It may be worth just holding off and going for a rocket. But as we see, nobody's prepping the silo. You know, nobody's prepping the silo. I tell you what though, guys, if you have redeem rewards, in that Discord channel that I posted earlier, and I'll post it by the end of I'll post it at the end of this run as well. If you want to join in, feel free to. Like, if you have ideas for the stream, it's something I don't do often enough, but I love taking feedback. Like, if you guys have ideas, or not that I can't come up with my own, but like, I don't watch me stream, if that makes any sense. I know it's a bit of an obvious point to make, but like, I don't watch me stream, so I don't know what is watchable about my stream. I just kind of show up and do it. And so if there is a points reward, or if you think there's some kind of cool thing that we could do, I don't regret asking feedback. Absolutely not. Then I'd love to hear it. For many different reasons, obviously. But I think I found an issue here with the North's build. Yep. You won't be churning out any red chips. Oh my god, why are we doing this, guys? We're literally choking ourselves off. How many walls in the chest? Here we go. 1.7k, which is a respectable amount, I think. You know, 1.7k is decent. What I'm worried about here is throughput. they're not creating enough green chips here to feed their red chip build. And I know that they're getting red chips pumped in for... No, they don't. They need iron here now. They need iron here yesterday. And they surely have an abundance of iron somewhere, right? Like some of these furnaces somewhere, here we go, like up here, hundreds of plates just stacking up. Like you need to filter iron into this lane, otherwise these green chips won't produce, these green chips don't produce, they don't filter into red, red don't filter into your blue chips. There is no point in building yellow science if you can't build green chips. I'm not throwing shade, I'm just saying like, you cannot expect for this to turn on. It is prio issue, yeah, 100%. And when you've got like lanes down here that are like backing up their smelters, I think here, this is backing up, or one of these was backing up with like, yeah, 90 plates. Like cut this prio off, like what are we doing? That's genuinely a problem. Because it's not like you're having a problem feeding this, and it's not as if you have a problem smelting it, but you're literally choking this off. And again, you could potentially grab, you've got a lot of green chips here, right? So you could go and raid this, and you could go and like spam it into here, sorry. But like the larger, wider issue is this should be running on its own. And the Blitzy stream snipe, I think Blitzy is stream sniping, you know. But yeah, sorry, so I think I saw Blitzy in the server. I don't know if Blitzy's playing, but we'll have to see. They voted for the North, so I don't know. But yeah, my take is this. You know, we need to, like, if you want something this big to fill and fuel something this big, and you need red chips, which we know are expensive and take a while to build, then you need to have the relative build functioning correctly like this, you know. You have an abundance of green chips, yes. I would grab all of the buffer here and literally just fully send it into these red chip builders. Ban him. Well, I'm happy to take suggestions, guys. What would be an appropriate level of punishment for treason? Obviously, bite to battle's treason, not real life treason, obviously. Beheading is a bit strong. I was thinking anywhere from a short fine to beheading. Anywhere, there must be a middle ground between those two. Here as well, we're seeing some throughput issues, and not issues per se on the grand scheme of things, but like one side of this is definitely still choked. Although we've got an abundance of LDS, and again, this doesn't necessarily need a ton of them. Make him watch the State of the Union. Nobody deserves, absolutely nobody deserves that. Again, I won't do it here on this stream, because this is, you know, bite battles, and it's apolitical, non-political, la la la. I might speak a little bit later on about what's going on in the world, because it looks like war has begun. I don't know about you guys. I don't follow very, very closely geopolitics. However, it does appear to me as though a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of stuff is going on that appears to be throwing the Middle East again into chaos. Do you know what would speed this up? If we red belted this, that would go so much faster. I'm going to be honest, guys. I watched bits and pieces of the State of the Union. I turned it off very fast. Yeah, correct. I don't speak often about politics. In fact, I speak more about whether I like blue belts over red belts over yellow belts. But it boggles the mind, again, and I'm just one man, so come at me if you think I'm wrong. How somebody can hold public office and blatantly lie all the time. It genuinely boggles my mind. Not only do they not get fact-checked, which again is a very clear and easy way to point out misrepresentation or falsehoods, but they just say everything and anything they want. think what's probably even scarier than that is that what is being said, even if it isn't true, is believed. I think that's the killer here, is it doesn't matter what is being said, it's that that person said it, therefore I believe it. And we're starting to take away critical thinking skills in order for it to just be purely, they said it, therefore I believe it, therefore it must be true. And, you know, I'm a skeptic of many things. I don't believe a lot of what most people tell me. If I can verify it and back it up, I will. But a lot of the time, if I read something on the internet, or if I see something, or like, I always double, triple, quadruple check. And it is literally flooding the zone. And regardless, I'm not talking about specific policies here. I'm not talking about specific incidences. I'm saying that it is wild to me that in the age of information that we live in right now in 2026, that there is somebody in public office, not just in America, but generally around the world, we have it in England too, people that hold public office that quite literally will say anything they want. It can be fact-checked, but it won't be held to account. And that's the key. That's the key kind of verbiage I want to use here. You should be able to hold people that lie to you, or that say falsehoods, or that spread misinformation to you, to account. And that when there was a debate many years ago, in fact last year I think at some point, one of them even said, I thought we weren't fact-checking today. It just goes to show that they know what they're doing. They're aware of what they're doing. Yeah, but yeah, back to bite battles. They have slightly fixed this. Copper is an issue. Oh my god, they red belted it. As you can see, this solved all the problems. All the problems are solved all at once. I mean, I would argue that with this much copper that you're not producing, you could just make another smelter. Maybe, I don't know. Wild idea. I mean, look at this. They have open patches of copper that aren't being used. Let's take a look at research real quick. The North are just locking in all the researchers you could possibly want for lasers. I don't think they're going beyond this. I really don't think they have any plans or ambitions to go to rocket science, right? But like, does yellow win the game? Surely not. Let's see who's built the most red belts. This will be a damning indictment. The South have built 1,500 red belts, almost 1,600. With 500 buffered, they've placed 1,075 red belts on the South. I told you boys, the moment that we started picking teams, I knew who'd win the game. I mean, to be fair, they're chugging along with the research, but what they don't have is this. And my question is, are they going rocket silo though? The South are looking to, and this is my big concern now with the North, is that, you know, like, how far do we go here? You know, how long do we take this? Because, you know, ultimately, like, if you don't win off the yellow build, and it takes a while to build all this yellow, by the way, this is not a quick hit. They're not going to all of a sudden just magic 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 yellow signs, right? We're going to be here for a while. Could potentially the South slightly overtake them. If they get their rocket research in, they build up their silo, they start filling it up full of stuff, I'd be nervous about sitting in this area. Very nervous for sure. So yeah, I'm just not... I also want to check something real quick. Alright, this guy didn't pick on me any science, right? Yeah, I was just slightly worried. Somebody hanging around the yellow signs like this. Me orc. Oh damn. Yeah, I don't know, like, Heptadecon goes down again to a poison capsule. It's not that bad. The South are dealing with minus 90k compared to the North's minus 17k. The nest continues to build power. This is fine. You know, they're going to need it if they're going to go for lasers. Their laser upgrades are coming in as well for research. They're not looking to go for silo. So the play here is to make sure that this yellow build gets completely filled up. And off the back of the yellow being completely filled up, they will have enough signs to cause enough damage to the South to win the game. And I don't hate it as an idea. I just think it's kind of slow and meandering. And what we're not doing at the same time is we're not focusing on like science and research outside of this. We don't have any purple, right? We literally didn't touch purple at all. So we're stopping ourselves, or stopping ourselves from having the ability to go beyond this. Yeah. I like to weave my way through a story. Sometimes making no points at all. Sometimes making no sense at all. I call it the weave, the ghosty weave. Yeah, we're just slow. Like, we're just slow on yellow completely. Now, you don't want to know, honestly. Like, I'm gonna be playing, I don't know about you guys, but like, I started playing Deadlock recently. Holy shit, what a great game, number one. There may come a point where I do a Deadlock only stream and you're gonna see a very different version of me come out. I apologize right now for that person who thinks that I'm very wholesome and not toxic at all. I'm not bad, but like, competitive me, genuinely competitive me, is not a very fun person to be around. So yeah, just a warning, if you see me streaming Deadlock and you tune in, I'm happy to crack jokes and I'll try and be in as good spirits as possible. I'm playing to win. I'm absolutely playing to win. And I would worry that the North is slightly being... Yeah, don't start. This guy needs... I'd watch out for this guy, mate. I'm worried about him. He's hanging around an area of the factory he doesn't need to be. He's starting to queue things up that doesn't need to happen. And he's currently hovering around. Like, you win the game if you get yellow signs. If he fucks this build at all, you're going to lose the game. I don't know who this player is. Let me just do a quick search on his stats. But at the moment, that makes me nervous, mate. Seriously nervous. Yeah, the player has less than 25 games. Just be very careful about a player like this, mate. Very, very careful. Again, a player that has less than... No, not a Smurf. Has 25 games and has lost most of them. So I think 25 games and about 15 lost. So just be careful. I'm not saying that people come in and fuck around, but like, this game is on a knife edge at the moment, and having somebody come and grab like 400 yellow... Nah, not a chance. Yeah, if he grabs signs, I'm banning him right now. Like, if he grabs signs, I'm gonna just quickly ban, or maybe you know, prison or whatever, jail. But like, no, absolutely not. So at the moment, the South have what the North have what they need, I believe. They don't have enough of it though. And again, once the South end up with behemoths, or you know, a large enough send that forces them out of this play, these defenders, these cars, this play style is done for. Minus 100k is decent enough. Arguably, with the amount of money they've put into this, the amount of time they've put into this, I think they should be well into the 100ks at least. Like, minus 150k with what you have. Like, you don't need to be driving side by side here. You don't. I know that the one's in the tank and one's not, but like, get your own tank, get your own car. You can do this on foot. These bugs are 12% strength. You don't need a tank at all. 2 people in one spot doing this is completely pointless. Completely pointless. Yeah, literally just carrying the guy along. It's not ideal. To me, it's a mismanagement. Now, have fun, obviously. Play as you like. But I think if you want to get the most out of your threat farming, if you want this to be minus 200k, grab another tank, grab another car, grab another way of moving, and get yourself moving in this direction over here. 2 people in one spot. Even if you're threat farming, so let's say Tim, for instance, over here, is threat farming in this area. If I'm his counterpart, like Open Drain, I'm threat farming in like the separate area over here. If you can see each other and bump into each other, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, play as you like, but it's not efficient at all. I'm not judging you verbally and openly. Tanks, oh dude, I think tanks are viable. Honestly, I think tanks are quite viable. The same way that you can make use of uranium ammo. Like, I think that going tanks and uranium ammo is a better play than going bots. Honestly, I genuinely do. Now, I need to prove that in a game, but I just very, very sure of myself in terms of the calculations I've done. I need to do them live. 1766. Let's take a look. Let's do some maths. 1766. That takes them to 82. We're not far. Let's go 2000. 2000. What? Damn, 88%. So we're looking at around about 2,700, give or take. That's the magic number, guys. They're at 1,766 now. Add 1,000 yellow science in, and they're at the magic number of 90.3%. Obviously, that's a rounded number. A few jugs less and we're at 90. But 2,700 is the magic number. And it's literally just a waiting game. I don't know if I love this. I don't know. Like, what are the South even looking at doing? They want to go for their... They don't have yellow up, though? Yes. No yellow. Ah. But large blue prod. This is scary if they manage to get this off. I mean, it's a lot of drones to be in the air to not make use of them. Maybe he's taking a break. Let's see. Can any of you guys see yellow at all? Like, I'm kind of looking for it. I don't see. Maybe here? They're just going huge into laser production? Okay, that's kind of fine, I guess. Anything? No? They're queuing up stuff that they don't have research for, so their lab's just dead now? Oh no, they changed their research. One sec, let's look at what South are going for, because I'm perplexed. Okay, they're going laser upgrades, down the line I guess they want to go here. Kind of nothing research from the north, like they don't need any of this. Really? I'm gonna go for it. Go for the lasers, like shooting speeds first. Like I'd go for anything that was genuinely helpful first, even if it is a bit opulent, even if it is like a bit over the top. Heptadecagon needs coal, damn. So there's an extra 200 in the box. Let's see in total how much is made. Remember, 2,700 was the magic number. They've made 2,500. We are 100 away. Really? We might be there. Are we there? Are we hit the magic number? Almost, I guess. Damn. Let's see when Clutch picks up. Let's see what the number that pops out. 2587. Okay. Very close. We're close to a large send happening from the north to the south that will throw the south into chaos. Now, it won't necessarily put them into positive threat. However, the threat will become so large that the window for them to continue to stay alive before the map becomes aggressive is small, and will shrink by every second that those behemoths exist on the map. We're not far away from now the game being thrown into chaos. My biggest question for the north is, where do we go from here? Once that send happens, and the send will happen, we're very close to it happening, we will look at a completely different outlook if the south managed to wear it. So how does the map aggression work? Great question, and that is a fantastic thing that I can transition on to. These bugs exist on the north and the south. Over the course of the game, the bugs grow stronger and become larger, and they evolve. Your enemy team can make your bugs bigger and stronger by sending signs to them, mutating them. Both teams at the moment have actively fought the bugs and killed off large amounts of them, making their number a negative number. Now, I can go into big detail about this, but the thing to remember here is, if the bugs are in a negative number, they have to spawn in this many, so on the north that's 22,000, on the south that's 108,000, before they can become aggressive again. The way I look at this is a negative number means passive bugs, because they need to respawn their people, they need to respawn their bugs from these buildings back in. Once the number goes positive, the bugs become aggressive, and they will start moving down the map, and they will start fighting and biting and killing all of the things on your side of the map. Now you might think, oh, 100,000, that's a lot. Well, no. In fact, unless we're looking at millions, we are going to see that number shoot up massively, drastically, very soon. The bugs at the moment are in this weakest stage of evolution. They have brown shells, meaning that they're very small and weak. Oh, Derek out here catching strays. You're not wrong, however. So, yeah, they start off brown shells. They then evolve into medium bugs, pink shells. From mediums, they go to big with blue shells, and from big to behemoths with green shells. And at the moment, what's happening is the North are waiting to send enough science to make the South's bugs so big, and so strong, and so large in number that basically the map begins to collapse for them. The bugs are so strong that they begin to lose parts of their base, and eventually they die. I swear I saw Derek playing World of Warcraft, right? I think Derek and his wife and Amanda are playing, WoW. I may be wrong. I might have. I think I saw a clip of them. I think I saw a clip of them playing WoW and doing raids and stuff, which I think is really cool, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I tried WoW, not for me. I've never really given it a full run, but it didn't really click with me. Recently started playing Guild Wars 2. Absolute banger, by the way. I'm loving a bit of Guild Wars 2. But I think that's because I haven't played a big MMO RPG type before, and so because it's the first one. He's on the TBC servers. I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry, dude. I know that somebody died. So I saw a clip of Amanda dying, and there were a load of really famous people saying RIP to the character, obviously, not obviously to Amanda, but it's like a big guild of content creators, I think. Hey, I love it, man. More power to you. Derek is and always will be. Oh, here we go. Ascend happened, guys. Do you remember we talked about those big green bugs? Well, here they are. As you can see, they don't die instantly. The Burning Crusade. Got you. So a large send happened from north to the south. The south at the moment are dealing with 95% strength bugs. Here you can see a collection of all the different evolutions. However, when these weaker bugs die, these small, medium and large bugs, it will only leave us with green shelled bugs on the map. Only Fangs Season 2. I'll check it out, mate. I love the aesthetic of WoW. I've just never been able to really get fully into it. And obviously now, because each bug takes longer to kill, the threat will rise exponentially. So we will no longer see them enjoy a minus 1,000, minus 10,000, minus 100,000 threat. The bugs are getting hard to kill. And so these tanks that the South have, and the technology they have to kill the bugs, these defenders, are short-lived. Massively short-lived. But yeah, more power to him. The thing is, what more can Derek do? He got the world record. The South are quite far away from Ascend, I believe. I think that their aim is to go for the next tier up in terms of signs, which will be white signs. But I think that the rocket silo is far away. So effectively, the North have managed to put the South on notice. They need a big defensive effort because these bugs. In fact, they can kind of fight some of the bugs, but these guys that die very slowly now. Yeah, I was going to say, once Derek got the world record, and I know it went backwards and forwards, but, surely there comes a point where you're I've done everything I want to here. I've ground, I've fought, I've sweated, I've bled, I've succeeded, I've celebrated, commiserated. We've done all the things that, you'd want to do. Open ring goes down. Damn. So, what next, Do you stay doing that, or do you move and do something else? And I think World of Warcraft's a great way of changing things up, especially because I think a new DLC or a new expansion happened recently. I think I might be. Again, I don't really keep tabs of this stuff, but I think there was a new. I've reversed undergrounds by accident. Oh no. Oh god. But yeah, I think he did everything he could in that space. Yeah, dude, crack on with World of Warcraft, alright? Now is for early access. Monday for plebs. Ah, okay. Run killed by accidentally hitting R. Oh my god. That is actually nightmare mode. Can you imagine 3.5 hours into a run? You just kind of mispress a button. Game. Just GG's. Oh my god. Do you know what though? When they did it, when he got world record, I was one of the first people, not that it's a big deal, but I was one of the first people to be like, fucking hell yeah, mate. Because I've been through that grind before. Not on speedrunning, but when I got my, when I managed to hit the rank I wanted to in Dota, it was a big deal for me. Nobody told me to do it and nobody pressured me to. It was a rule that I'd set myself, and I was so overwhelmingly happy when I managed to make it, because it was like I'd policed myself to discipline myself to get good enough, and it was a real struggle. It was really hard to do, but very much worthwhile doing. Welcome in, Dr. Kong, welcome in. The South are under fire. Threat farmers have some tools available to them, but once these behemoths become majority of the wave, and again, there are still some of these smaller bugs to die out, the South are in for a... I saw the maple syrup chug. Oh my god, mate. I was like, oh, you're going to feel that tomorrow. But why not? You know, why not? He'll look back at that when he's older. And do you know what I love the most? Do you know, more than anything, what I love the most about that was he managed to celebrate it around family and friends. He wasn't like on his own in an apartment grinding away. Nothing on the South defensively. We are literally on the clock here. They have no defensive structures at all. And I believe the North expected a push, or maybe Ness was just bored, you know. This is a very French thing to do, by the way, and Ness obviously being a resident French person, to just build random massive power blocks, because we might need them, you know. I'm bored, so I build massive power. But yeah, we don't really know why that's down there. It's one of those mysteries of the universe. Yeah, it's probably like Ness went, hey, they said, can you build a power block? So I built all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they get bigger as they go as well. Like, this is a power block small, medium, large, behemoth. And this is kind of nice. I don't love the spacing, but this is nice. Nice enough. Yeah, when they're bored, just nuclear power. Just a few nukes. It's fine. But yeah, 95%. The Cobra goes down. The behemoths now, here we go. So now these waves are larger than before. Again, they have lasers down, yes, and they have a couple of like researches into the lasers for damage. But like over the course of time, these will take damage and slowly die. My question is, like, how many of these do they have in a backup, right? The South have 406 lasers, 27 have been lost. No, sorry, none have been lost, 27 are in the ground at the moment, so we need to keep our eyes on how many they lose. At the moment, as you can see, a couple are pretty heavily damaged. So yeah, these waves are going to get really strong, really difficult to deal with, and over time, because they're not being killed off as fast, the South will eventually become positive in threat. The North, maybe... If the South can wear this, maybe they get overtaken by Rocket, but I just don't think that's the case. Like, I genuinely believe that the North might have got them here. But I guess the question here is, like, do they keep sending? You know, at what point did the North go, hey man, we have an advantage now, we're going to go Rocket too? Or are they just not? They're just all in on this. Tim25 going for a threat farm. I believe they did. Let me double check. Let me double check for you, Abascotti. There were two sends. A 3,139 send, followed by a 326 send. And that was a while ago. So yeah, I imagine that there's a larger send on its way. Maybe they're sending up a few more thousand. Like the bugs can only get stronger from here. They can't evolve any further. So potentially maybe we'll see like a 110%, 120% type bug. But the South are really kind of like, they're gonna struggle. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he did. He had over 1,000, so it might shift the dial. Let's take a look and see what will. Let's go to the South. Let's shift the dial by 1,000 yellow. That takes him to 100. Like, because of the game mode that we're on. Oh yeah, sorry. Team keeps sending us south. My apologies. And they haven't sent anything yet. Yeah, so another 1,000 only increases the threat by 5%. You know, my question here to the north is like, why are we not going for a rocket? We could easily get a quick purple build down, fund that, fuel that, and be happy. You know, be happy men. I mean, there's an entire iron patch here we're not using, a copper patch we're not using. You could easily funnel this into purple. Like, that's kind of worrying to me. Also, we have like 1,000 green chips buffered here. So like, why aren't we just grabbing and hand feeding all of this? Yeah, we need to just be hand feeding this. Team never send. That's the one. Team never send. Let's take a look. Let's go to Cogito real quick. Oh wait, that's wrong command. We're going to follow the South Threat Farmer for a second. Not because I want him to die, because obviously they normally do. I need to quickly go and use the bathroom, so I'll be back with you in a minute. Guys, we're not far from the end of the game, but we are far from the game ending. So if you need to take a stretch, like, yeah, like relax yourself. We're not far away. Oh, damn. Hit and run. So, yeah, we'll follow Cogito for a quick adventure, and I'll be back very soon to carry this on. So, yeah, back in a sec.
I just do. Going hard in the club in the late night. I kinda hate that too. But being with you kinda got me liking a lot of things that I never knew. Sometimes I get a little shy, but I don't want to wait you. You make me want to touch the sky. You make me want to get you. I ain't no social butterfly, but when I'm next to you, I feel like I want to dance all night. Baby, I don't dance. But if you do, I do. I don't go out. But I wanna go out with you. I don't make plans. But if you do it, I'll come through. I don't go
Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. My, I don't know why, but one of my dogs is coughing a lot. And... yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried. He might have just eaten something or something happened to his throat that's irritated it. But, yeah, just had me slightly worried that it swallowed something and is choking on it. So, yeah. Apologies. Right, where are we? What happened? We're still at 95% on the south. 14 on the north. He's fine. He's a puppy. So there's a good chance he's kind of inhaled his food and it's just gotten stuck on the back of his throat. The bots are being now made use of on the south, and we have a wall going down with some lasers too. The threat is slowly going down though, so the south are managing to threat farm quite well here. Let's take a look at how many lasers they've lost, because that was an important look. Okay, they have lost 27. So they placed 160, lost 27. That's not too bad. The size of the wall, I mean, if they can get this off, it's decent. But again, like the size of scope and the scale you need to have of this wall to cover the entirety of your base is almost too big. You got to remember there's 17 people on the south. So, you know, I know that you've got a lot of bots. I know that a lot of stuff is being put down too. But at the same time, like, this needs to be big enough that you can bring people to and help defend with. You know, the bots won't do a job on their own. Meanwhile, are these guys making... they're bringing purple in. Right, where is that purple from? Let's see. Somebody somewhere is building purple. Here it is. Okay, let's take a look at research, because they have to go silo now, right? They have to. They're going to go mods into silo. Okay, so this was the transition I was hoping that they would go for, because at the end of the day, like, getting your enemy to 90% is like stage 1 of winning, but it's not the only stage that you take them to get a win. Because they can defend this, they have the right kind of technology, they have people that are actively defending. Again, these bugs are kind of difficult to kill, but you can kill them, and over time, threat will naturally increase as we speak. It's gone up by 2,000 as I've been here, so... you know, over time they will end up in a positive, and they will still lose some lasers too. As you can see, these lasers aren't insta-killing the wave. So they are producing finally some purple. So now they have all 6 sciences in their labs as we go, which means that they can finally go down that tech tree that they need to get to the lab, to get to the rocket silo, to get that white science that will definitely win them the game. As I sit here now, let's do a calculation. If South were to receive just a single rocket, just a singular rocket, it doesn't do a lot. Wow, that's like nothing. Holy shit. Let's say, for instance, they received multiple rockets, because somehow the North just managed to outbuild the South on rockets. Yeah, that's game-winning condition right there. They go into a positive amount of threat by an enormous amount, and the bugs end up at 143%. We're not going to get to that point, I don't think. I would imagine that we go down the route of having 1 or 2 rockets. But that being said, though, this base is going crazy with laser production. What are we doing? You could have built late game out here, surely? Like, am I being stupid? I thought this position was primed for like rocket building. Apparently not, but... okay, Uwu Meow Fables is trying to outdo Ness on power. So we have 2 enormous power builders out here, Nessin being one, power giants, and what looks to be Uwu Meow Fables over here doing, you know, these kind of things. I mean, you need power. I don't know if you need this much power, but here it is. You know, surely some of that light oil can be converted into rocket fuel. Like, could you not make that rocket fuel right now? You're going to need it later. It would be my question. You know, like, if we're going for a rocket at all on the North, is anybody even considering that? Because the sooner you do, the sooner you get there now, the quicker it'll be. I don't think anybody on the North is building rocket fuel at all. And their light oil drums are very full. Okay, that's kind of a good sign. Chuck it out here, couldn't you? Oh, here we go. Oh, they're building some. Yeah, less than 100, but it's there. It'll tick in nice and slowly, so... Okay. I was worried there because, you know, we might be slightly misusing a resource, potentially. But never mind, we carry on. Tim an open drain, carry on the threat farming on the north. I want to say that deaths have been more on the north side, even though the north are dealing with like 15% bugs compared to 95. There's an 80% strength difference from the north to the south, and the guys in the north keep dying. I don't know if that says enough, but it screams a lot in terms of like, yeah. And again, like, yeah, throwing some slowdown caps. This is how you threat farm. I mean, not necessarily with these, ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. That's not good. That also is not good. But what's even worse is, did you see power? That's not a lot of lasers firing, guys. That's terrifying. Their power is just on the edge. Like, if you look at that green bar on the right hand side, just above my trash can, every now and again it dips into yellow, right? Let's see them bring a wave of, they're working on a nuke. I mean, they're not close though, right? Well, they're not close. They can get that nuke up, but like, if all of a sudden, let's just say, the threat was positive and all of these lasers needed to fire, like, they are going to struggle. And again, remember, like, the nuke takes a while to fire up. It doesn't fire up instantly. It takes a while. So maybe the timing's right, but maybe wrong. Like, and look at that. That's not just dipping a little bit. That's going deep into the yellow. And we're talking about 20 odd lasers firing there, 20, 25. The nuke alone might not be enough to save them, especially if they manage to put all of this down. And then we have to talk about, like, when you have bots that are putting down a blueprint this size, when you need to start repairing stuff and there's a blueprint that still needs to go down, they'll always prioritize the stuff that has already been placed rather than the stuff that needs repairing. So, like, you better hope and pray this wall comes down quick and these areas get cut off too. Because if they don't, then there's a chance that the bugs just walk around this defense. Like, this is genuinely pretty scary for the south. Like, they're not as well covered as they look. And it's great that they're setting up their silo. That's good. You know, they are setting up their silo for an endgame. We have some of the components ready to go. I don't think we have all the prod 3s. We certainly don't have the research finished. The north are building a small wall. I don't think they're expecting to get hit. Here we go. So, speed 3s are almost done. I'm quite sure, hopefully, that the rocket silo comes in next for the north. So this is at, 95% completion, 97 now, so it's really coming in quick. And then the rocket silo, that's the big one here, because they haven't started theirs on the south, sorry. So the north begin their silo research. And it's going to be slow. Yeah, it's about 5 to 7 seconds for a percentage. So it's going to take a while. Like, that's not going to happen fast. Hopefully what can happen fast is the prepping of their silo and the building of the prod mods they need in order to stick them in order to build the thing. This is, squeaky bum time for both sides. You know, a slip up here on either side means a loss. And for me, the north are in control. Massively so. But if they allow the south to get rockets off, I mean, let's take a look at the send, right? So let's say 1,000 signs of white denomination go over to the north. It's not enough. They need 2 rockets to take them to behemoths. Let's see what 2,000 yeah, 2,000 puts them deeply into the behemoth territory and puts north in the lead in terms of threat percentage, mutagen percentage. But again, I just don't love what I'm seeing here from the south. Like, it took them a long time to get yellow up, a long time. Research will be slow. I don't think they are yet to research the silo as well, which means they don't have the final piece to the puzzle. They're going for their mining prod first. Are they missing any sciences? No. Is it all backed up? Also no. Yellow is just now starting to hit. So yeah, I just worry that even when they do begin to research their silo, they're going to be kind of slowly making it happen, as opposed to the north, which are just kind of making it happen. Through most of their labs, obviously not all of them. Although, why not all of them? Why can't, what? Why are we not using these 8? Am I a moron? Is there a reason for this? We're backed up, right? Maybe not. Maybe purple. Maybe purple's an issue. Okay, fine. I was wondering, like, if we have an abundance of like science, why are we not using the back end of our labs? But yeah, the modules make sense too. But we're getting there, I guess. I hope. I pray. We're at 16% complete. And the south. Oh, the south are coming in quicker. Hello, the south at 8%. Nah, they're dead even, are they? 17 to 9. The South are researching faster, guys. The South are researching faster. By the end of this research, the South will have gotten there faster than the North. And I think it's because they beaconed some of their research. They beaconed out the back end of there. Yeah, here we go. Oh, we have a game on our hands. Guys, we have a fucking game on our hands. This is good. I didn't think we'd get here. They don't have, and again, that's a great question. That's a great question to ask. They might not have enough backed up. We did the calculation earlier. Sending a singular rocket to the north does not put them in behemoth territory. Sending two does. So the south need to be able to send 2 rockets to shake the north hard enough to push them into behemoth territory. A territory which they currently sit in themselves on the south. Meanwhile, the south have power problems, and we've seen that. And that is terrible. That's a lot of dead lasers just thrown to the walls. Yeah, here we go. Power is bouncing at the moment. I can easily help you with it. If you wish to learn basic. Way easier with output, but doable with inputs too. I got oil prints I make doing them. Yeah, no blueprints allowed, mate. I hate to be that guy, but yeah, my blueprints are better than yours. You're not allowed them here. So unless you know them off by scratch, yeah, none of that snash. None of that snash. They are better at the moment, Trank, and I am worried for the North's well-being if they manage to get sent against, like. The thing that frustrates me the most is that the North have probably the most deaths. What went wrong here? We're missing LDS. Are we sure? Like, what the fuck? LDS? Really? Oh, we've just plugged it in. Okay, that's reassuring. There is enough LDS on this line to kind of give us hope. We're backed up decently enough. Are we buffered? No. Oh, we are buffered. Okay. You might want to hand bring that buffer to the rocket. You can if you want to. Yeah, blue might be short as well. Although they have just plugged it in. So maybe the initial blue was what they brought over with them, and this is the backup. But I'm not cool. Like, I'm not sure about this. Meanwhile, here on the south, they have their silo beaconed as well, and that's the scary aspect to this. The north aren't really able to churn out the same level as the south. If the south have enough parts set up and boxed up, ready to go, once this goes, it's going to be a machine gun of rocket parts, and rockets going up and down into the sky, to the point where the north will be obliterated by. Yeah, they've overtaken the north, by the way, by 8%. They started off about 8 or 9% behind. They're now 8%, 9% ahead of the north. And when that rocket goes into the sky on the south, this big rocket here, there's another one ready to go. And beyond that, on these belts around it, is another rocket to go. Now, they might not be able to make a satellite that fast, and that might be one of the irredeeming factors behind all of this. But I worry for... Oh, Trank, thank you for the follow, mate. Look at that little dancing mushroom go. Yeah, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the South are actually kind of slightly maybe in the lead. I don't like this, though. This needs to be slightly better backed up. You know for sure, if you're going silo, that you're going to need kind of... you're going to need the the solar parts, accumulators, etc. You can build them as fast as possible. Like I always say to my team, if I'm building a rocket, get on this fast. Do this. I don't care if there's too many. You can never have enough. And yeah, they're way behind in solar panels. Again, You need a lot of them to build one rocket, to build one satellite, sorry, to send one rocket. So, you know, if this is all they have, they might only have the ability to send one rocket at the moment. So that's not enough to throw the North out into Behemoth territory. Potentially, yeah, it did look a little it looked well, they turned it off, it looks like here. They switched off accumulator production, which is scary. Because they have everything here necessary for it. Maybe somebody's holding a lot, you know, you never know. A player could be holding a few. In fact, each of these buildings finished 90. So there's somebody's holding a couple of hundred accumulators. Oh, the south. Sorry, mate. I thought you meant the north. That's... Where are their accumulators at all? Are they... Yeah, 2 solar assemblers. So this is frightening for the south. It feels like today has been a comedy of errors. In the silo on the south sits a rocket ready to fly. If it hits space, it will return back some white signs. However, they are missing some key core components. Silo research is at 83%. They are now so far ahead, they have overtaken the north by 20 odd % research. Let's do a calculation. 1,000 white signs from the south goes to the north. The north end up, they're still in the negative threat, but only by minus 8,000, so it's pretty close to even. And their bugs go to 84%, which is manageable, dealable, definitely manageable. Meanwhile, on the south, let's just flip that coin and go to the other side. And 1,000 wipes out 20k's worth of their threat, but also pushes the bugs over 100%. It's a weird one. You need more than the rocket to win the game. To me, you need at least 2. Oh, here we go. And hit 700 accumulators. That's what you want to see. 700 accumulators in a box. They're ready for this. They are ready for this. And yes, they don't have all their beacons around them, but the north are prepped and ready to go. And I think that, you know, the magic number, whatever it is, it's not 1. And I don't really think it's 2. If I'm being honest here, like the magic number for the north, 3 to 5 at minimum. If you want to be really cocky, you could potentially have a staring contest and try and wait till you build over 5 rockets, but I'm almost certain that by the time you get number 5 in the air, these guys on the south will have got their act together, hopefully, and they'll be sending up and down, like they'll be on 3 as you're on 5, so like you have more you can send first, but if you wait till 10, like that 5k they have might wipe you out. And it just always comes back down to that when it gets to the end game. It's where are you willing to draw the line, you know? Because one person's greed saying, oh yeah, I like the number 20. Well, actually maybe 10 will do, or maybe even 6. But just because you've got a number 20 in your mind doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah, this is literally game of chicken, mate. And it boils down to resources first. So do you have enough to build another one? Here we have 2, 1 in the silo, ready to go, and 1 loaded, ready to come behind it. So potentially, maybe. Are they dying again, guys? Like, the bugs are 16%. Somebody here has died double digits, and it is frighteningly incompetent. I don't mean to throw shade, but like, guys, you should not be dying. Like, at this point in the game, you should have all of the stuff you need to keep yourself alive. Like, you're not... I don't think I've seen a death on south like the amount that we've seen on the north. In the south, they're dealing with 95% bugs. The wall, the mighty wall, it's okay. It's not very thick, and there's 1 layer of lasers behind it. We also don't know much about their power situation because it isn't being tested at the moment, so it's not massive. And I think here, in fact, this will show us a little bit. Let's see if they drag some bugs into this this laser setup. They're still actually able to threat farm with poison capsules, so I guess that's fine. I don't know what you're talking about, Dainty. I don't recall. Isn't that the best political answer? I don't recall. I have no recollection of. No, absolutely not. How dare you? Slander. How dare you besmirch my good name? Have they got the nuke up? Let's take a look. Okay, the nuke... Ooh, okay. The nukes are firing up. It's not a massive build. Like, for 3 reactors, I think that we need at least double this. In the sense of, like, turbines and stuff. Like, this looks very, very small. Compact almost. For this amount of reactors. Obviously, I'm sure they can build on this and improve on it too. But the death hole. Yep, I'm literally digging my own grave. Sorry, I dug my own grave. Buried myself in my own failure. Still, a rocket has yet to be sent. Still, they haven't yet built the satellite. And white signs. Die hole. I might rename the save to that. Yeah, they must have finished their research by now, surely. They haven't finished yet. Jesus Christ. They're more than a few minutes behind now. 89%, 90%, only 10% to go. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 minutes ago, the South finished their research. And here the labs are, they're dying on their ass at the moment. It's purple. And purple is coming in slowly. 3 to 4 jugs at a time, just trickling in. What's missing? How can we speed up purple? It's red chips, it's green chips. No? It's here, it's green chip, it's red chips. Oh, damn. Can we swipe some from here? Like, you know, just sweep a few, sweep the leg. South are yet to launch, I believe. Because the satellite has yet to be built. And they're just vastly missing simple components. But we wait with tenterhooks. Because they're not far away. I mean, they have everything. They are loaded and ready to go. The moment a satellite passes itself from this assembly machine into this rocket, they'll fly high into the sky, returning back their white signs. I wonder why. Like, are they like? Do they want to chest a couple of Do they want to chest a couple of satellites? Like, why not go now? Why not go first? That could be a way to go. That's not a bad idea, actually. Holding enough to then wait and send twice. Because you know that you can get 2 up fast, right? There's one here, it's ready to go. Once it goes into the sky, a second will follow. But I just don't, like... It really is just a rocket off, you know? And I guess we just wait and see, like... Do these guys have their satellite? But no, I'm sure their research hasn't even finished yet, right? Still going. Oh my god, guys. It's been so long. You've managed to make 5% up in 3 minutes. They might die alone just because they can't research that fast. Oh my god. It's a minor comedy of... It's not massive, but it is a bit of a comedy of errors. This is all stuff that you can fuck around with. The science they're missing is purple. Purple, oh, now it is coming in a lot faster, but beforehand it was steel and red chips that were just slowing it down to a crawl. I mean, like an actual crawl. Now that their research is coming in slightly faster, and again, I would have red belted that purple science, by the way. Everybody knows it will come in twice as fast if it's on a red belt. It's taking a leisurely stroll at the moment around the way. This is my big question here. What are we waiting for on the south? We've chested up enough stuff here. So yeah, rocket fuel we're fine on. I don't know if we're great on blue and, like, it looks backed up. It's backed up enough. There's a couple of hundred. Like, you can build like 2 more rockets maybe after this. So there's 2 here and then probably 2 more to a maximum of 5. Satellites built 1. What they're missing, I do not know. There's a satellite in here. Oh, with this thing. Oh, they were just crafting the landing. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. They were crafting the landing pad. In the north, how about them? Landing pad is already down. Okay. Landing pad is down on the south as well. The rocket. It's happening at the same fucking time. Let's go. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Let's see if I can get both. It's a double blast off. North and south. Blast a rocket off at the same time. Considering there was a massive lag in getting their silo and a second. Oh, I wish I could zoom out enough. This sucks. I'm like one screen away. Guys, can we move the silo a little closer to the river next time? A double rocket blast off. From both north and south. And now it's on. Like the game is dead even at this point. The only difference is the south are already 95%. So I don't know what the north's plan is here, but I don't think they really have enough time to fuck around with building 3 or 4. There it is. Muddlebox sends. The north are dealing with positive threat to begin with and 98% bugs. Meanwhile, the north hold their signs. Is this it? Do they play a staring contest now? Because this guy's dying at 16% bugs. Behemoths have just arrived. Like, I worried about open drain now. Behemoths are on the board. The north are in trouble. A wall with some lasers somewhere and some flamers at some point exist. But this is the test. This is the test. If your threat farmers are worth their weight in gold, they will earn their money now. They will earn their bread now. And they have a bit of time. You know, these poison capsules, some of these lasers kicking around, they will do some damage. I don't know how much they will do. Do they have their upgrades? They do. They're not perfect, but there's enough. North's power isn't flickering, however. And rocket number 3 emerges on the north. Meanwhile, on the south, no third rocket. It's taken its time. 87, 88 out of 100. Rocket number 3 is on its way. However, rocket number 3 in the north is flying. This is very, very close. And if the north don't send soon, if they have some arbitrary number in their head that just wins them the game, they might lose out. Rocket number 3 goes into the sky as rocket number 3 for the south emerges. And again, the south sent theirs. They have no white science in their hands at the moment. The north have 3,000. However, the north are dealing with positive threat, number 1. And there it is, the send. 3,000 white science go over to the south, giving them a positive threat of 42,000, now 43, and a 124% evolution rate. The souths will now, and their power infrastructure will be severely tested. The spawning of that many bugs is enough to cause their threat farmers problems. At the moment, they have most of their team now working close to the wall, with a few people in the back lines working on outposts and stuff. Again, like a spawn that happens around the edges, so kind of like side swipes will happen, and that's something you need to ward against. The north, can they survive? Maybe. I think that now, if you're in the north, right, 2 things. You need to intercept anything that comes anywhere near your base. I don't really care. If it comes like here, oh no. You need people with the right tools to stop this from happening now. If you allow this to happen without anything, like you need poison capsules and slowdown capsules right now. If you don't have anything, here we go. Wu gets in the car, pulls away a lot of the wave. Do we have any defensive tech? Anything at all? And if Open Drain struggled with 16% bugs, he's going to struggle with this. Bugs are tearing through. Ah, this is terrible for the north. They've managed to get the lead on percentage, and yet their base is going to be under threat. And if nobody in main base has the ability to defend, the south will continue to throw white signs. They'll continue to pump the number up. We need lasers back here, boys. We need slowdown capsules. We need poison capsules. You know, your wall will defend well, I guess. But, you know... Why is Tim throwing? What? Why did we do this? Did we just sweep? Why? That's genuinely game ending if you were researching lasers. Are you serious? Why did we send? Did somebody tell Tim to send just then? Like, you need that research for... Oh my god. That's actually kind of terrible, because that research is blue signs heavy, and you need all of it. Like, at the moment, your lasers aren't doing that much. It'd be really cool if they did a bit more. But now they don't. And it didn't do anything. Like, it gave them 1% difference. No, I'm not going to say anything. That is genuinely game ending. If the North don't get their research in time, that could genuinely be a throw. But whatever, like, it's not going to change the fact that the South need to defend. And here we go. Bugs to the south, bugs to the west. There will also be some bugs roundabout in this area too. That will be kind of skirting around the edges of the defenses, and that's what we need to look for. Bugs that end up in these areas. Bugs that end up close to your, you know, the blocks that you need to keep alive, that you can not defend. No, today this is the only Bite Battles game. After this, I'm going to take a break because I've been streaming for quite a while today, and then later on I'll be later on, sorry, I'll be getting the Diggy whole scenario up again. Sorry, my brain is literally melting at the moment. Yeah, like I said, after this I need to take a break, so I'll take like a 45-minute. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more time, just to kind of take a breather. Here we go. So these bugs now are fast and furious. They're stronger than, well, your tank, basically. They'll catch you up if you're on foot, and it takes a long-ass time to kill them off. Equally so, the bugs that are here in this particular spot might make it even deeper. Here we go. There is another wave that's made it in. The South are in for a world of pain if they can't deal with this. Meanwhile, the North have... waves coming in close. Oh my god, there's nothing really stopping this wave from getting all the way in. There's literally nothing. You need somebody needs to see this now, or the game is over. Like, you need somebody getting in the way of this wave. Power at the moment for the South, looking healthy, you know, but the bugs will circumvent these lasers. They don't need to go towards them. They'll go wherever they want, and wherever they want to go is apparently here. Laser speed. Let me check in on this upgrades real quick. Upgrades. They have speed 5, speed 4, and damage 4 on both sides. The northern wall is breached. Now it's just a case of like plugging gaps. You know, you can't be everywhere all at once, so you need to sacrifice something to the bugs, some part of the map to the bugs, and just hope that they make it through. Somewhere in this darkness here is a roving pack of bugs that can absolutely just tear the South to pieces. They're making in roads here on the South. Muddlebox sends another 1,000 white signs across. Now I worry about this area out here, and any bugs that come in slam into this area have a very short path to the silo. But the wall will not hold. Like, a 1 thick laser wall will not hold out. And it's just carnage at the moment. Absolute carnage. They are dropping lasers too, so they're not just kind of rebuffing the waves. They're also losing bits of infrastructure too. Another wave makes it past the wall, and Team South, who used to be called Team Never Send, are now Team Keep Holding. The bugs are in, and they're strong, and they're making inroads to the main base now. They're not far away from the silo, but it will take them some time to get here. Meanwhile, on the north, waves are being kited. This is kind of really good from Zero Sun. You need, in an ideal world, you need 2 walls. You need a wall. Oh, damn, that's close. That's stupid close. And another wave behind it. Ooh. Is anybody here to catch that? There's 2 stupid big waves here coming in, and unless you have lasers to push these guys away, this is game ending for the North. Yeah, sorry, to your point, you need 2 walls. You need one that like cuts your base off very close to you, and one far away that is basically your defensive front line. So this is a good idea if you have more lasers and you have more wall, and a second wall as a speed bump to stop them from coming in is ideally what you want. These guys being here is not a problem if they stop and you can kite them. If they keep coming in, you need something that can get rid of them. At the moment, I'm not seeing anybody intercept these at all. And again, another pack of bugs close to power. This is terrifying for the north. And it's just, we're not reacting. These lasers are not enough. How many lasers did the north even produce? Let's take a look. They produced thousands. No? They produced 400 and they've lost 172. Ooh, okay. Not big on the north production here. Not big at all on lasers. They don't have a ton of them. They're just turtling now. Surely now every single bit of infrastructure they have is just going to be sacrificed to the bugs. And unless the south somehow manage to get proliferated, which they can, right here, there is a wave making its way through. But like, do they have enough time? The north need to hold out. If the north don't hold, then they'll just die. But if they can hold out, then the south are kind of vulnerable too. They've got more lasers, yes, and they have a big defensive wall, but like, it's not the be-all and end-all. So yeah, I've got to keep my focus on the north here, but I definitely want to make sure I check in on the south. Big power block getting rinsed here by the bugs. Q-Crack goes down as well. The bugs are just everywhere now. Another wave close to oil, moving in close to the base. The silo is here. And like a pocket of like 15 lasers each is not going to be enough. They're continuing the rocket building. They are, and they're continuing to send. Meanwhile, like, the thing that baffles my mind is like, this big, oh, here we go, yeah, I was going to say, more waves need to make it around the south's defense. But the thing is, they're making it to those bugs. So each player is managing to kind of intercept. At the moment on the north, what worries me is that, yeah, like, we're just literally sitting back here and turtling. And there's not enough lasers to turtle in. You know, this wave of bugs can end the entire game right now. Like, why are we not sitting a ton of lasers down here right now? It's game, isn't it? Have North lost this? Mate, the silo research being like 15 seconds off was not 50, about like 5 or 6 minutes off is genuinely an issue. Tim taking the science and sending it, and I'm going to tell you now, boys, I'm going to do some research, but if Tim is a new player, Tim needs to learn a lesson. You don't do this. All of this science was to research your laser shooting speed. I wonder what you wish you had right now. I would argue probably laser shooting speed. You have the power to power them, but they're just not doing enough damage, not hitting enough. Yeah, it's not Tim's fault, but like, you can't just come into a game and do that. It's not ideal. It's game. North have lost. GG's, boys. What a game. What a game. Were the South ever in danger? Never in doubt. Let the fish be free. We'll quickly type into all chat GG's. GG's well played. And my initial assessment is that the North just didn't allocate their resources correctly. You know, I take my hat off to them. I'm not wearing one, but I need to take a break. So I need to eat some dinner and take a bit of a break. So I'll post in our Discord the one that I have that I've set up recently. And in fact, if anybody wants to join that, by the way, I'll send it across. Here's the link to the Discord. For anybody that wants to join any Factorio runs that we are doing, click on that link and you'll be able to join us. I am flagging a little bit, so I need to have some food and just refresh myself. Well played, everybody who is involved in the Bite Battles game. I'll be loading the stream up in the not too distant future to play some more Diggy Diggy Hole. So feel free to join us for that. If not, guys, we'll also be doing some more scenario stuff too tomorrow. So I don't think I'm going to be casting the game tomorrow. There's also like normally a Bite Battles game on Sunday. What I'd rather do is just do a full day of like Diggy Diggy Hole and maybe some other stuff tomorrow. So, oh yeah, sorry, the prediction. My bad. Before I go, prediction. Let's do this. And we'll pay everybody out. I always knew the South were going to win, guys. Come on. I knew for sure. Never in doubt. The South are always going to take it. All right, there it is. lots and lots of pot noodles move their way over from the south to the north. And yeah, thank you for joining me for stream number 2 today, guys. Stream number 3 is on its way, but I need to take a quick break. Just kind of reset myself, reset my brain. Diggy Diggy Hole will be on in the not too distant future, so look out for a post in the Discord for that. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for obviously more Factorio. And if I don't see you then, I'll see you at some point in the not too distant future. So yeah, thank you for joining me. My name's Ghosty. This has been Bite to Battles. Later on, we have some more Factorio scenario stuff. And also look out for the future where we'll be planning a foxhole run as well. So yeah, we've got some really fun stuff in the works. So I just yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your nighttime, guys, and I will catch you very, very soon. Goodbye.